Yeah. Black Man Unfiltered Network. We ain't here to play nice. We here to flip everything they told you was normal. Hey! Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we flipping tables. Yeah. We breaking labels. Facts. No more silence, no more favors. Truth hit hard, can't save it. Yeah. We flipping tables. This that real, no cable. Hey, if it's fake, we unplug it. Welcome to the table. Yeah. I came in the room, they was comfortable, quiet. Smiling in your face, but behind it is riot. They told me be calm, but I'm built for the storm. When the truth in the building, you better transform. They don't like a man when he speak with direction. They love you when broken, confused, and correction. But I'm on a mission, I'm changing perception. No filter, no fear, just raw intersection. System designed just to keep you disabled. Mentally trapped, spiritually labeled. I'm cutting the cords, the lies getting fatal. If it ain't the truth, I'm flipping in the table. We flipping tables. Yeah, we breaking labels. Facts. No more silence, no more favors. Truth hit hard, can't save you. Yeah, we flipping tables. They said don't question, I said watch me. Too many men out here living sloppy. No guidance, no code, no structure, no lead. Now we wonder why families bleed. This ain't hate, this accountability. Look in the mirror with this vulnerability. Masking and frame with responsibility. That's what they fear, that's stability. I'm calling it out, no sugar, no glaze. We breaking these cycles, we shifting in the phase. Legacy built, not lost in the maze. We done being silent, we enter a rage.
This ain't just a podcast. It's a movement, it's a reset. If it's built on lies, it gotta fall.
We flipping tables, no fear, no fables. Black men rise, we stable. Now we changing the label. We flipping tables. Truth is non-negotiable. Black man unfiltered. This the voice they ain't controlling. Flippin' Tables podcast. Black Man Unfiltered Network. If it don't make you uncomfortable, it ain't real.
All right, good evening, good evening. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. All right, we got a very controversial show going on tonight because I have questions and I need answers. All right, so before we get started, if you're here right now and you're just coming in, hit the like button, subscribe button. You know what to do. Share it with 2 people you like, 1 person you do not. Also, guys, if you want to donate to the channel, you could definitely do that with a super chat. It's at the bottom of the chat. If you don't want to do super chat, you can definitely do a cash app, which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen as well. Support the channel, man, by hitting the like button and the subscribe button. I appreciate it. We do great content. We just had a really, really great show on Saturday. Shout out to the almost 10,000 people that were watching. And that's a realistic number on Saturday. We had almost 10,000 watching on Saturday. And thank you guys for supporting that conversation. It was a hard one to have, but we had it and we did a great job at it. So shout out to our pain. Shout out to everybody that came through, had a conversation on Saturday. I appreciate it. All right, man. So if you guys want to be a part of the show tonight, man, make sure your camera is turned on. Make sure your kids are in the bed or outside playing, because we don't need them in the background. We definitely don't need them playing and making noise. Make sure your TV is off. Make sure your wife has duct tape on her mouth so she could be quiet, so she won't be interfering unless she wants to come on camera. But we need you guys up here and having a quiet background so we can definitely hear you and the audience can hear you as well. All right. Also, shout out to Tyrus, man. I know his Cavaliers are going to the NBA Finals. Oh, I'm sorry. The New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. I apologize. I had it all wrong. I thought that's what it was. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up my brother from another mother, man. Put your hands together for the Cavalier fan himself. I started to call and check on him, but New York had put a really good whooping on him 4 times in a row. So give it up for Tyrus, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo,
Tyrus,
what's going on, man?
You all right over there? I just wanted to make sure you were good because I understand.
Nah, man, I'm not good, bro. BMU, you know, this weekend is typically a tough Memorial weekend for me. And then on top of that, we got swept. And then on top of that, my uncles and now Anton's ass texting me talking about how them Knicks, you know, like just it. How you doing, bro?
The Knicks may win it all. It's just they may win it all. They won 11. They won 11 games in a row, 10 in a row, something crazy like that.
I hope they do, bro. Justify that sweep we just got. Shit.
All right, guys. If you want to join the show, the link is in the chat. If you want to join the show, the link is in the chat. Just make sure your camera's on, no noise in the background, no YouTube playing in the background, no TV, and make sure your wife is on silent. All right. So tonight, man, Tyrus, as you can see, the title of the show tonight is "This Your King?" Tonight, we're talking about the Savior, the wonder, the man whose picture is in everybody's kitchen, everybody's living room, everybody's church fan at the old Baptist church, the one and the only, the Martin Luther King Jr. We're talking about Martin tonight because I want to start by prefacing this to you. I want to read something to you. All right, so we're not going to start with Martin first. We're going to start with Trump. Okay. Trump has hired, just say every time I say something right, just say yes, Tyrus, if you agree. Trump has had prostitutes.
Agreed.
Trump has cheated on his wife.
Agreed.
Trump has disrespected religion and faith.
Agreed.
Okay. What does that make Trump?
Human, American, non-presidential.
Take the presidential as a man. What does that make him?
Pretty scumbaggish.
What if I told you that Martin Luther King had the same record? What if I told you that there's an autobiography out right now from Martin Luther King's best friend that he said he used money from donations from the civil rights movement to pay for prostitutes, white ones at that?
So are those credible? Have those been verified?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Pastor Abernathy, if you go look at the Lorraine Hotel picture, Pastor Abernathy is the guy to the right of Martin Luther King before he got shot. That was his homeboy.
Okay, yeah. So I know that I know for a fact he cheated on his old lady. You know what I mean? The prostitutes, yep. I wasn't sure if that's been like confirmed or not. Yeah, regardless, there are absolute contradictions there as far as the standard of the man, BMU. To your point.
Yeah, absolutely. Trey, if you want to come up, man, the link is in the chat. So I also want to add that it has been verified. Pastor Abernathy put it in his book, and then also the FBI has audio tapes of Martin Luther King paying for prostitutes.
Yep, that's poor behavior.
Yeah, and also Coretta Scott King also verified that the FBI tried to break up their marriage because they were bringing the audio tapes to her house and dropping them off in brown paper bags with recorders for her to listen to her husband having sex with the prostitutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do we say about a man who is very high up in the black community? What do we say about that guy? and he's the same as the guy you don't like?
I guess so. This conversation blindsided me a little bit. Hey, first off, can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, you real good. Hey,
okay.
Prototype, you can come up Prototype as well, man. The link is in the chat. If y'all don't see it, I would definitely put it in there. Trey, if you want to come up, you can come up as well. I'm making a point. I'm making a point here. That's why I brought that part up. That's not really the part I want to talk about, but we'll start there. But go ahead, Tyrus.
Yeah, it just right. One was fighting for a specific cause that I guess had nothing to do with his infidelity, and one is a complete criminal felon and covering up pedophilia. So I mean, like, I don't know how they can be even compared.
I was only comparing the paying for prostitutes, cheating on their wives, having, the things that they call Trump trash for. That's all.
Yeah, if you want to call it morally trash as their character, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand the point you're trying to make is if you try to do a point by point as just the man itself, really can't say anything. But then on top of that, one's an elected leader, one isn't. All right. One was a literal one was advocating for civil rights. The other one is pulling crypto rug pulls. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't.
Now I'm making a point. Like I said, Prototype Dad, if you want to come up here, I know it's a misunderstanding. You guys are not comprehending what I'm saying. So if you want to come up here, I can definitely explain it to you. But when it comes to that, I made that comparison based on that. But also, what can you explain to the audience, Tyrus, what is a Marxist?
Let me pull it up real quick, but that's basically a follower of Karl Marx. But let me go ahead so I could give guys, I like giving y'all clear definition. Marxism is a social, political, and economic theory based on the works of 19th century thinkers Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. It analyzes society through the lens of class struggle, arguing that capitalism is inherently exploitative and that the working class will ultimately overthrow the ruling class to establish a classless, stateless society.
How do you feel about Marxism?
It's got its pros and cons.
Overall,
not a fan. What about you?
Not a fan either. Did you know that Martin Luther King was a Marxist?
I knew there's some overlap. I know there's definitely some socialist policies, but if you look at his policies and his stances, they were no different than the white politicians of his time. This is what I hope BMU, you and the audience can understand. When you look at MLK's policies, especially with like social equity and things like that, go look at the politicians, like the debates and stuff like that. Those guys were also talking about affordable health care and housing and all of the same things that MLK was talking about. Just some politicians, BMU, also would throw in the segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. The policies were the same. It was just who were the policies meant for.
So do you believe that, and in the audience as well, you could put a 1 if you like, if you agree with this. Do you believe that Martin Luther King was a puppet until he wasn't?
No.
You don't believe he was a puppet?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got somebody else in the back here. Pause. What's going on, Trey?
Hold on, Trey. Was that a pause moment, bro? Was that a pause moment? No, it wasn't.
I said I got my guy in the back. That's pause. That's a big pause.
What?
Humongous pause. All right. Trey, what's going on, my guy? How you feeling tonight, brother?
What's good with you? The pause moments.
Yeah.
It's better safe than sorry. It's better than
oh my God.
have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
So it when in doubt, just say pause. You just never know.
Just say it.
Especially when I'm around.
Absolutely.
Y'all tripping, bro.
Now, Trey,
I done got BMU on many occasions.
Man, I had to go back and just get myself together, brother. Now, Trey, what I meant in it when y'all was in the chat, I understand what y'all saying. I'm not saying that's not true what you guys are saying. All I'm saying is that the same characteristics as a man that Trump has is the same characteristics as Martin had. Wouldn't you agree?
Not only do I agree, most men have. Most men throughout humanity have had both what Martin Luther King and Trump have had. Look, I get it. A lot of people just don't like the guy. At the end of the day, many voters, many citizens of the United States don't actually know why they don't like Trump. They just don't like him.
Exactly.
There are very few people who don't like him that can actually explain to you from a policy standpoint as to why they actually don't like his policies. Most of them just don't like him. And I find it quite interesting because he was immersed in Black culture prior to becoming the president. It's actually quite interesting to me. He's in many rap songs. He's been in videos. Even to this day, I've seen many videos of young Black men doing the dance with him on social media. So I don't quite understand, when I hear he's racist, I don't think he's racist. I think he's a classist. I do. I think he's a huge classist. I think he just flat out don't like poor people. And I think he thinks they're a bane on the economy. I think he thinks they don't represent capitalism and what it stands for. I don't think he's racist. But I also understand that he also comes from a different time. He's 79 years old? That would put him it's either old Gen X or silent generation, where they saw women quite differently than we do in the millennium, right? And so I'm not saying that he is perfect.
He's straight boomer. He's a straight boomer age. Yep.
Okay, great. Whatever. I think you got the point of what I was trying to make is that all of this cancel culture, all of this I'm offended by everything type of culture, he don't come from that. Right. He don't come from that. He don't understand it. And neither do my uncles and my great uncles. They don't understand why everything hurts your feelings either. They don't get it. Doesn't make sense to them.
To add to what you said, Trey, just to give some facts, it said you right. Before Donald Trump became president, he's very popular in the Black community. He's very immersed in Black community. It says here, he has the Guinness World Record for the most mentions in rap song history. Donald Trump has been Donald Trump has been referred to in over 300 rap songs.
It's not even just a rap. And thank you for pulling that up. He was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was in the culture. Like, I don't understand this. And here's how I see it. I'm going to tell you right now, I do believe that the office of the president should be for all citizens, regardless of who voted for you or not.
Right.
We're not talking about a trained politician here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a man who went from the apprentice to the Oval Office.
Right.
And so is he going to he is MJ in the Oval Office. He takes shit personal. You didn't vote for me? Bet. Watch this.
Yep.
Watch what I'm going to do to you now.
That is an inherent contradiction of what you just said.
90% of people who did not vote for him. What did y'all think? BMU, do you remember the night that the election?
That is an inherent contradiction of what you just said. That is an inherent.
I said it right then and there. Y'all are going to get
you just contradicted yourself.
Bitch, I need to see your face. If I can't see your face, you can't come into place. I'm sorry.
You just contradicted yourself.
Can you wait till
why are people getting so offended? You asking people. You said people are getting so offended, and yet you just admitted that Trump gets offended about everything.
But can you wait till
this
I'm
is
done?
insane.
I didn't interrupt you. This is what happens when you don't do push-ups as a man. Your testosterone falls low, so you got to interrupt and be feminine.
Is that coming from the guy who's been on who's been on the been on stream on Planet Fitness and still ain't lose no weight? Like, bro, shut up. Like that.
Whoa. So now you go too far. Hey.
Hold up, bro. Like I got time today, Trey. I got time to trade.
I know you do, ma'am.
Because you be on
That's exactly what a woman would say. A woman would say that
bro,
she has
you're the
time.
one. You're the one taking the shot first, and then now look at you acting like Trump.
The shot they was taking was you interrupting me. That was the shot.
That wasn't a shot. I was correcting you, bro. And if you take that as offensive, then that's on you.
You can wait.
Okay, so Tyrese, let him finish. Trey, finish your comment. Then Tyrese,
no. Let him get it off his. Let him get it off his saggy ass chest. Go ahead,
bro. You got a saggy face talking about another grown man's body right now.
So
you have titties.
Pause.
I don't know if titties are bigger than your wife's. I've never seen her before. I'm sure.
Trey, you don't even have a wife.
I don't want one. I don't want a wife.
Trey,
you want to know why I don't want a wife? Because I'll end up like you. I'll end up soggy like you. That's why I don't want one.
Trey, but you're soggy now, and you don't have.
When you ready,
Trey, you're soggy now, and you don't have a wife. Like this is insane logic right now.
I've never been soggy a day in my life.
Look at your face; it's soggy. Like, bro.
Okay,
like,
so Tyrese,
cut it out.
Hold on, Tyrese. Let's go back to the subject. What were you correcting him on about what he was saying? You said that he was a contradiction. What is the contradiction?
Because he literally claimed that everybody who hates Trump, or the most of the people who hate Trump, right? This was the contradiction, that everybody's so easily offended. Trump himself is easily offended. So by that logic, why would you vote for somebody who's easily offended? That doesn't make any sense. Trump is everything you just finished complaining about, right? It's like BMU, this is the contradiction when it comes to Trump supporters, right? They claim they want somebody who respects the military, so they voted for a draft dodger and a guy who steals from veteran foundations. They said they hated big city elites when they first voted for Trump. They claimed they hated big city elites, so they voted for a silver spoon big city elite and Donald Trump, who don't ever hang around the fucking rural people. Right? They claim they hated, remember, conservatives claim they hated political dynasties. They hated the Clintons and the Bushes and all this. Meanwhile, we got Trump, right? With this second term, Don Jr., who's got a drone company that they're buying from, his son-in-law, who's in control of piece of the Middle East, and now his daughter-in-law, who, by the way, is the head of the RNC. That sounds exactly like a political family that conservatives were always fucking whining about. So every single thing that they claim they hate liberals for, that they voted for Trump, is the same behaviors that Trump himself actually possesses.
I'm still waiting on the contradiction.
That is the contradiction. I literally just told you.
You said I contradicted myself.
Yes, because and I literally just said, you claimed, we could run the tape back, you claimed everybody is so easily offended.
Never said everybody.
Yes, you did. You literally said the liberals, everybody who hated Trump are so easily offended. We could run the tape back, Trey.
Everybody's not liberal.
Trey, you're already fucking playing dumb. So anyway, that's what you said, and that was the contradiction, because you can't complain about people being offended when the guy in charge is easily offended.
Show me the articles that says he's offended. Show me him standing and saying that offended me.
You could just go on Truth Social and find all the shit of him.
And I never once saw on Truth Social him saying that he was offended.
Are you see when somebody says a mean thing about you on a late night TV show and you demand them to be fired, that says you're offended.
Your perception of his response doesn't mean he was offended.
Oh my God, you're one of those, bro. Okay.
No, you can't speak for
You're
people.
one of those.
You can't speak for people. You can't tell people what they feel.
Trey, let's say you Trey.
So you want to tell the president of the United States that he was offended.
This is insane logic right now.
Little old you, whose only claim to fame is that he served the country, and I'll give you that. But you want to tell the president, not once, but twice, the president, elected by a majority of voters, not once, but twice, you want to say that he is offended.
Yes, he is easily offended.
You can't prove it.
You can literally go on his own social media platform and prove it yourself. See, this is the problem.
I can't.
Yes, you can. You just don't want to because you know you'll be wrong. See, this is the problem.
It's not about being wrong.
People will come up here and say blatantly wrong things,
and you said that
then when you go and tell them, well, it's right there, and they're like, well, I don't want to look it up.
Offended. The contradiction would be if I were offended, sir. That would be the contradiction, not him. Not really. It would be me. No. I get it. Like I said before, I get it. People don't like him. It is what it is. I don't give two shits. My portfolio is doing well. S&P has hit new highs in the last couple of months. I don't give a shit what y'all think, to be quite honest. Guys, I voted for who I knew was going to help my portfolio at the end of the day. I didn't vote for him whether or not he was a draft dodger. I didn't vote for him whether or not he came from a silver spoon. I didn't give two shits about that. I cared about being able to put money away for the future of my family. And the only way I was going to do that is if his ass got in the office, because I knew the market was going to spike up and down, and that's an opportunity to make money. Now, I will be fair, and I will say that overall, Democrats are typically better for the market in the long run. But we have never seen anything like Trump. And what he's been able to do in the market, I'm very happy. I'm a happy man. I can't complain.
How are y'all so excited with this guy blatantly manipulating the market, starting illegal wars, and by the way, is actively covering up the sex trafficking of minors by pedophiles? Like, this is just insane.
Can I fix that problem?
Yeah, you could have fixed it by not voting for him. Yeah, like really, you could have fixed it by not voting for him.
So why should I give up my financial future because you don't like it?
You literally just said the Democrats were better for the market long term. Again, another contradiction, bro. Another contradiction. Like,
sir,
BMU, please, BMU.
I can tell you probably don't trade. You're probably a guy.
Yes, I do trade. I've been trading since I was 20.
401k or something. But for people like me who trade, we love it.
If you're spending more money on society right now and off your trades, and people right now that's borrowing from their 401k and borrowing from all that right now just to survive in society, what is that 401k going to do for you in the future if you take it from it right now?
Hey, so let me say this. Hold on, Beige Rage. Mr. Beans, thank you for being here tonight, my brother. Thank you for being here. I want to say, I'm going to ask this question. Let's get back to MLK, right? So I'm going to ask you this question. Do you believe, Trey, I'm going to start with you first. We'll go around to being here. Do you believe that MLK was a puppet until he wasn't?
No, I don't believe that he was a puppet. I believe he was. I believe he was a human being who was capable of making mistakes just like everybody else. I think that initially his ideas and what he wanted for his people was genuine. I think he thought he was doing the right thing. But I think overall in time, and even according to himself, I think he realized that combining blacks and whites was always the worst. That was always the worst mistake. It was never going to be right from that point. But I think that initially, all of the movements, everything that he was attempting to do, I think it was genuine. I think it came from a good place. And I think he legitimately wanted better. And I think he legitimately thought that desegregating and having us all be in the same place, working together, unified, all of that, I think he thought it was legit until he realized that maybe it's not. But by that time, it was too late. The hit was already out.
All right. Mr. Beans, what are your thoughts, man? Do you think he was a puppet or until he wasn't?
I don't know, man. I've never really given it much thought. And I'm at that age now where I kind of understand when people say they don't want to just give an answer really quickly without thinking about certain things. It's one of them things, you know. If you mean puppet, if you mean actor, I mean, I'm known for saying everybody on TV is an actor. So if I had to bet, I'd probably say 51%. Yeah, he's an actor. But I don't know necessarily about puppet.
Now, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get Beige Rage in here, then I'll get into something else. Beige Rage, do you think he was a puppet until he wasn't?
No, I don't think he was a puppet. I kind of agree with Trey. I believe he was more a man with conflict. You know, he had a weight of a whole nation on his shoulders. And I think that he was trying to do good for his people. And I believe even when you're trying, you ain't gonna find no leader out there that every decision he makes is gonna be 100% right. Only one person that you're gonna find like that, and that's Jesus. Okay, so I think only person I think he did the best he could do for his people, and I even believe that he knew sooner or later that his people was going to have to engage with white people because even with how spread out we was across the world, I mean across America, we was not going to just survive off of just us alone. I just think things that got moved too quick, that a lot of laws didn't get in place for us to, get economical advancement during that time. You know, we get a lot of stuff that laws could have been put in place that came in that could have gave us the grants and more of a chance to get in there. Because even though when we, desegregated, they still stopped us from going so far with our buses. They still didn't let us go all the way there with the white people. They still didn't even let us use their mechanic white people come to us, even though we desegregated us. And then that's why I look at. So no, he was never a puppet.
So let me say this. I believe as far as, and I'll go and say this, and if you guys want to go research this, please do. I think that he was a puppet until he wasn't, simply for the reason that certain change could have happened quicker if we didn't use certain things that we use against each other in the black community. Let me give you one. Colorism. Does anyone on this panel know who Claudette Colvin is? By show of hands. Thank you, Tyrus. The Beige Rays, do you know who Claudette Colvin is? Mr. Bean? Let me help you guys. Claudette Colvin was a young lady, a teenage girl. She was the first girl to say, I'm not getting up and letting no white man sit in my seat. And they arrested her for it. And the civil rights movement was going on at the time. They arrested her for it. This was way before Rosa. Okay. Guess what the civil rights movement said?
That was like 5 years before Rosa Parks, right?
And guess what? And guess what the NAACP said? We can't use Claudette because she won't get media attention because she has darker skin, she's a teenage mother, and she's not married.
But I did read that same article. I don't know about the dark skin part, but I do remember they saying that she was a teenager, and the only thing she could take the threat, especially with her having kids, and the conflict that she going to get, like Rosa Parks is, threatening the Ku Klux Klan and all them people threatening to bomb her and stuff, and they would put a lot more threat on her, and they didn't think that she was capable of being as a 15-year-old. I think she was 15.
Yeah. Well, I have it right here. I chat GPT'd it. The NAACP sent out this message. It says the subsequent pregnancy and an unwedded teenager would make it very difficult to move this movement forward. It'll be a nail in the coffin for national media to rally behind such a young lady.
And it would have been. I mean, think about it. Look how we look at black teenage mothers now. Think about how they looked at it back then. Okay. When we were facing so much racism.
So what happens?
And we're talking about the country is at the peak of Jim Crow segregation. And on top of that, colorism being historically has always been a thing, especially because we either mark it black or mulatto because of the Virginia state law that went nationalized, all that stuff. So colorism has always been a part of what we do here in America, unfortunately.
I agree. And that's why you waited 5 years, and I think it was performative. I think that Rosa Parks was chosen for such a job. I'm serious.
That was a stunt. That was confirmed to be a stunt.
Yeah, because she rode the bus and her husband had a car. I'm saying that they used her. She was pretty, yellow skin. She could pass. She was very good on the eyes as far as white people looking at her. So they had a plan and said, hey, we can't use Claudette because she that's a dark-skinned woman, teenage girl with kids. We can't use her. So we'll wait 5 years and we'll find somebody. And it was performative. Dr. King was a part of that. You see him and he probably hit that too, but we ain't gonna talk about that. There's no proof of that. But what I'm saying to you is you see him and her on pictures together. You see him and her. Now, 5 years prior to that, you didn't see Martin Luther King at Claudette Colvin's house. You didn't see him over there comforting her when they arrested this pregnant woman and threw her against the car and arrested her, put handcuffs on her and threw her in the back of the car. There's no.
He wasn't getting really started right there. He wasn't a known figure like that back then, at that time.
But nobody stood up for her. Nobody did. NAACP didn't even want her to use her as a representative.
Beige and BMU, that's no different than today, whether they're a liberal or conservative. Somebody going into Target with their phone out and hoping somebody says something when they say like a religious text or something, because you're hoping for a reaction. And BMU, so yes, that's true that everything you just described went down. Here's what's also true, BMU. They didn't have to tell Rosa Parks to go to the back of the bus, did they?
Nope.
Thank you. And see, here's the other thing too. You gotta realize sometimes to get a point across, you gotta have a certain person to get that point across, because certain people are just not going to receive certain people the same way. And that's just a fact. We all know that.
So, Beans, would it be considered selective outrage if? And I'm saying this. I'm just saying it overall. Would it be selective outrage if me and you, Beans, if nobody likes you, Beans, and they see you out cheating on your wife, using money from your organization to pay prostitutes, right, and do all these different things, right? And they don't like it. They don't like you, and they make a big fuss about it. Beans ain't shit. He ain't a moral man. He cheating on his wife. He paying for hoes with the organization money. Blah 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 blah. Then I come along, and I do the same exact thing you did, and nobody talks about it. I'm celebrated. Do you think that's selective outrage? Because Dr. Abernathy, the name of the book, if you guys want to go read it, is called "And the Walls Came Tumbling Down." And he talked about how Martin Luther King would meet white women. He would sit up and talk about unity. That's probably why he wanted unity. But he talked about unity, but they say he would pay white prostitutes and knock them down. And the women that was in his organizations, they said the black women that were running the organizations, because the black women say, we were big in the civil rights movement. Yeah, you were bed wenches. Because they say Martin Luther King was knocking down his whole staff. It's in the book.
I know what book you're talking about.
I'm gonna let Beans go first, then you can go. Go ahead, Beans. Is it selective outrage?
I choose not to believe none of this shit. All this revisionist history, people making up, or even if it is true, I don't care. Like I choose not to believe it. If this shit is true, especially being said by people who was around back then you should have said it then. I'm gonna treat them the same way how I treated them bitches who tried to say Bill Cosby drugged them. Like you should have said that shit then. I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't believe you now. I'm watching them strategically try to take down masculinity in America and destroy the black image. So anything that aligns with that without any evidence, I don't accept. But two things. I want to answer your question, and I want to say something that I didn't get to say.
Go ahead.
Trey was here. One, to answer your question though, selective outrage, I guess it fits, because from my understanding with selective outrage, it's like two things that's similar, like the things are similar, but you overlooking one and ranting and raving about the other, versus it being two people. I think that, but it still might be selective outrage.
Right.
But you're saying the exact same thing from two people. I think that's called favoritism.
Okay.
Right? So for whatever reason, I like this person, I'm giving this person a pass, which segues into what I wanted to say, which is exactly what Trey is doing as it pertains to Trump, right? Because you heard him say, like, shout out to Tarus for calling him out for contradicting himself, but you heard him say things like, I don't know why black people don't like Trump. It's like, come on, man. so you're the one person, the one black person on earth who didn't hear none of the negative, prejudice, bigoted statements that he may have made. You're the one person who didn't hear none of that. It's like, come on, dog. Right? He won the popular vote twice. Come on, dog. Like, we all know Hillary won the popular vote the first time she won more votes than Hillary. It's like, I know you know these things, but because you're showing favoritism to this particular dude, you want to dumb yourself down and act like you're ignorant of things. So maybe back then they may have been showing favoritism to Martin, and now, you know, people getting old and they just want to write books and have some their name in the light again. So they saying things that may have happened. I just don't care, you know. But I absolutely don't like it, to your point, or the question you asked, rather, when people do that shit. You know I don't. I complain about that on panels all the time. Don't say you hate when people derail the conversation, but then you're quiet when certain people derail the conversation. You don't care because they got 800,000 subscribers, so they could derail the conversation all they want to. But if somebody else derail the conversation that you think you could punch down on, then here you come.
Yeah, even with here I come, Beige Rage. Even if when I was talking to Tyrese right before you came up, even when his wife Coretta, when they asked her about the infidelities, and she said yes, she said they would bring tapes. People would drop tape recorders off at her house in brown bags, and she could hear the sexual acts in her husband's voice with other women, the prostitutes, the other women, right? They just leave it at her house. And she said she stayed with him because she knew that they were using that to split them up. And if he didn't have his family or his backup, his wife, then they could be able to control the narrative if they get her to turn against him. So she stayed with him because of it.
But right now you're saying he was a puppet. So if he was a puppet, then who is the puppet master?
You're absolutely correct. I agree.
Here's the thing too.
No, I'm asking.
You're asking me? Yeah.
Yes.
The puppet master is the person. I got a great answer for you, but Beige Ray's been waiting, and I'm gonna tell you right after Beige Ray.
I want to hear what you have to say now on this one. Okay. Beige hasn't want my ears up on this one here.
Okay, yeah. So the puppet master is the people who control the narrative, and they use other people to do the work. So let me give you an example.
No, I mean specifically to Martin though. Like, so when you say he was a puppet, Martin. Do you mean the puppet masters were white people?
Yes, they were white people. And let me give you an example. I was gonna go right into this too. So thank you, Beans. If we look at Margaret Sanger, a lot of people don't know this. Margaret Sanger is the woman who invented Planned Parenthood and opened all her abortion clinics in urban areas. All her abortion clinics, when she opened them, were all in black neighborhoods. The first one that she built was in Harlem. Black women would come in for abortions, and then not only would they abort the baby, but they would sterilize the woman so she couldn't have another baby, right? She had the whole eugenics thing going on, right? But before that, they went into the neighborhoods and they told these women, hey, listen, y'all have too many children. Y'all having 10, 12 kids per family. We can help you if you don't want to have the baby or you don't have no more kids. We can help you abort the baby. They told Margaret Sanger, if you don't get the fuck out of our neighborhood, we'll kill you. Margaret said, damn, I got to figure some shit out. Guess who she went to? Martin Luther King, all his homeboys, the deacons, the little black nurses, the little black doctor, and they went down and they told the women, hey, delete your babies. It's okay. It's the Lord's work. And Martin Luther King said that abortion is good for the black community because it's better for, what was his quote? I'm gonna find it. It's better for us. It helps with the poverty in the black community, is what he said. It helps with the poverty. It lowers the poverty. And so guess what happened? After Margaret Sanger deleted, we're up to 23 million black babies right now. After these women start deleting their babies, guess what they gave Martin Luther King? The Margaret Sanger Award. Google it. For being a part of the man who helped the black community latch on to what abortion is.
I'm pro-abortion, so this doesn't bother me.
He helped this woman go down in the community. Think about this though, Tyrese. I want y'all to go back in the day when this started. A white woman who was at Klan rallies, who was a sister to the KKK, told the KKK, they got pictures of her, they got audio of her at Klan rallies saying, I'm going to cleanse, I got these abortion clinics to cleanse niggas. I want to cleanse the earth of these niggas. And she said, when they come in for abortions, we're going to sterilize every one of them bitches that come in here. So get the baby out, sterilize them so they can't have no more kids. They're starting to take over. We're going to be the minority in a minute. And we need these niggas not to be the majority. And so abortion, that's why when I tell our community, abortion is not, when people say, well, I'm for it, it was invented to cleanse niggas. It wasn't invented for the white folks. It was invented and so for Martin Luther King.
But aren't the majority abortions done by white women historically? No, sir.
Historically, 22 million black babies have been aborted. That's more than white women and Hispanic women combined. Google it.
Hey, I don't know about
black women lead in abortions.
I don't know about that lady you talking about for the abortion day.
Her name is Margaret Sanger. Her name is Margaret Sanger. She invented Planned Parenthood.
Warlock can look that up and verify that, but I'm gonna go tell you that.
I don't know how you don't know this. You're 50.
I got to look that up on that because I never going to speak on anything that I don't really know about.
I'm going to show you right now. Keep going.
So, well, I can't go piggyback back on the other two things where you spoke about that they brought tapes to Mrs. King's and all that. I heard rumors about that, but nothing very verified. And when I looked at this time, I'm like Dean said, you know, I think about in this time and age where they assassinating all our black leaders like it's nothing. You know what I mean by their characters. It seems like all these stories are coming out like Bill Cosby stories. You know about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, this guy, that person. All the people we looked up to. It seems like now these stories are coming out of nowhere. That's not being verified. Like he wrote that book talking about he's seen Martin Luther King having sex with white women, but there's nothing verifying none of that. It's just his word. And we just posted
let me stop you. The FBI, let me stop you. And I know the FBI is evil, but the FBI sent these tapes to his wife. His wife verified that she heard the audio of her husband's voice talking to women, prostituting women, having sex with them. She heard him in there having sexual acts with other women. She said this.
Right. Right. I get that. I got what you said that. I heard what you said. That's why I said specifically that I heard rumors about that, but nothing been verified by her saying this. So I go into that when I said that they've been assassinating our black characters, our black leaders, and our black people for so long with false allegations. There's never been nothing about Mrs. King coming out and say physically verified, documented with her word, signature, or recording, or physical recording, or video recording of her saying, yeah, the FBI brought tapes to me, and I listened to them, and I heard him saying that he was banging other women and all that. There's nothing like that.
It is.
The same. Oh, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? It's definitely audio of Martin Luther King having sex with other women. You could go listen to it for yourself.
BMU, I pulled up the abortion statistics.
That's not what he's saying, though. Hold on, real quick, just before you go back.
But yeah, I want to just read this. I want to read this, and then we can keep cooking. Margaret Sanger is viewed by many critics as harmful or hostile to our black communities because of her association with the earlier 20th century eugenics movement and her support for population control ideas. However, historians strongly debate whether her actions specifically targeted black women out of a racial hatred. Okay, let's go down. Her connections to eugenics. Sanger worked with eugenics and spoke at eugenics conferences during a time where eugenics widely accepted among many elites. All right, let's go. It says limited birth among people considered unfit, including the poor, disabled, mentally, and sometimes racial minorities. Right, the Negro Project. Here we go. In 1939, Sanger helped launch the Negro Project, which aimed to expand birth control access in Black communities in the South. Critics argue it was an attempt to reduce the Black population. It focused on healthcare access and maternal health and involved Black ministers and doctors. Ain't that what I just said? She used Martin Luther King, she used doctors, and she used Black nurses to convince Black women to kill their children.
So BMU, the controversial line that you had mentioned earlier from Sanger, here's the quote from a passage that people cite that they already broke down. And the quote was, "We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea." That minister was MLK Jr. Here's the context behind that. Because when you're talking about women's rights or women's reproductive rights, especially back then, there's hella pushback to that. And so one of her correspondents in that passage was her trying to get, like most people do, being like, this is one of the narratives they're going to try to say about us. Let's try to get out in front of it because it's not true. Okay, that's not saying she doesn't have a complicated history. It's just saying that doesn't really,
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So if I show you pictures of this bitch at a Klan rally with a bunch of white KKK members, you don't think her motives were to delete Black babies and target Black people?
BMU, I'm not saying it isn't, but her motives started deleting, and this is why I was trying to talk to you about the stats I looked up, because you got to remember she was deleting white babies at the start. You have to remember, BMU, yes, right now, as far as abortion rate, Black women lead the country in abortion rate. But when it comes to, and this is the problem, BMU, because you like to mix up the rate with total number.
Go ahead.
Right? Black women make up a rate of 40%, I believe. White women make up a rate of 32%, but there are way more white women than there are Black women in this country. And white women have had way more access to abortion methods than Black women. So they have statistically the highest total number in this country, and Black women will never come close to the total amount. So we got to make sure we're not mixing up total historic all-time number with the current rate per year for the last decade. That's unfair statistics.
So let's say this. Let me say this. So all abortions, I want you to look at this up as well. I want you to keep looking. 99.9% of abortion clinics are in what neighborhoods?
BMU, respectfully, most hospitals are in what neighborhoods? Most anything are in urban environments. Rural areas have always had a lack of facilities. Anywhere. That's just across the country, bro.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull this off the screen.
I live in Iowa, so I guess they're in the white neighborhoods down here because I live in Iowa.
I want everybody to see this.
Go ask some white people in West Virginia, BMU, about their facilities.
I want to, but the majority of those abortion clinics are in Black neighborhoods. The very first one was in Harlem. But I'll read this first and I'll take this down so they can see us. It says Martin Luther King Jr. did not personally attend the 1966 Planned Parenthood watch. He chickened out. Ceremony for Margaret Sanger Award. He got the award, but he prepared an acceptance speech that was read by who? His wife, right? This is what he said in his speech. He wrote it, she read it. There is scarcely anything more tragic than a child unwanted, unloved, and uncared for. So what is he? So if that's the case, if you feel like they're like that, just delete your baby.
BMU, you're talking about the era where they had the coat hangers. That's where that stereotype comes from, bro.
What?
Like everybody was trying at that time. That was abortion, just like it is kind of now. Mm-hmm. That was a huge thing because guess what? Just like you see it today, these politicians' mistresses was dying when they went to get an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
right? So you got to remember, BMU, one of the biggest pushers and supporter of abortion were men, because men oftentimes are the ones being like, yo, can you get rid of this baby? Especially men in power. Right. And again, that's a stereotype of the back alley abortion, the coat hanger abortion. Again, just really weird ways, taking pills to try to miscarry the baby and everything like that. So again, this on top of Jim Crow segregation, like this is like layered shit, man.
So 200, I'll say this, then y'all can cook beans. 235,000 babies were aborted in 2025. Black babies. Mr. Beans, go ahead.
Yeah, man. You my homie and everything, BMU, but you gotta let this one go, bro. Like, this a bad look, to be honest with you.
How?
Because it's a bunch of people just trying to rewrite history, bro. And it's obvious. Like, even if let's say I go with you that he was a puppet, then why not show up? Right? You say he chickened out, but what if he didn't go because he really didn't have nothing to do with them people? Right? Everything that we're hearing, everything that you're reporting right now that was said by him or, whatever, it's third person. It's somebody else. It's never directly them. It's not we have them saying this thing. Mm-hmm. Even in that statement that you read, you could argue back then that statement could have been more about contraceptives than about abortion and birth control and birth control pills and all that type of stuff, which was more prevalent at that time. I mean, even that, I think that was before. I think Roe versus Wade probably was like the next year on when that
it happened 5 years after he died.
What, the award?
Roe v. Wade.
Oh, Roe v. Wade. So yeah. Roe v. Wade was in the 70s?
It happened after he passed away.
Oh, wow. So that would have been like 1973.
Yeah, it was 73.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That was like even
Beans. 1966 was when he got the award. Mm-hmm. Roe v. Wade was 1973, 74. So that's almost a decade.
That's what he just said. Yeah. 73.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I think even if I accept what you said about him being a puppet, right? Then now it's like, well, why wouldn't this puppet show up if he's being controlled? Oh, and they saying he was ill, right? He was ill. And so, But again, nothing, they don't even have a single quote from him even using the word abortion. Like, not one, right? It's all about family and kids not being wanted and, access to health and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Because I think if this dude's background is what his family said was in ministry, he wouldn't have necessarily been for abortion. But you also running a political race, with the things that you're trying to get done. So, yeah, let me send my wife. Not let me, because you say he was a puppet. They're going to send the wife, right? Put the woman out there, right? Let her go and get this award. Matter of fact, why the fuck y'all even saying that? Why are y'all even giving him this award, right? He didn't do anything for y'all. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing on the books to say he ever really did anything for y'all, but you giving it to him for what, right? So then you send the wife out there. Now this is a woman. Now it look better. Here come this woman. She right there next to him every march, every protest, So it's not like she don't have any kind of status herself. You know what I'm saying? She stamped, she validated. So when she come, now it's like, oh, okay, cool, man. Coretta was there, I mean, that's just how it goes. So I'm just saying, like, to me, that's why I said I ain't accepting none of this shit. Even if Martin Luther King said, I integrated my people into a burning building. It sound good. I would love to believe that he had that kind of revelation, right? But at the end of his life, he wasn't talking about moving away from integration. He was talking about getting the bag out these people. When he started talking about getting some money, we coming for our check. Now that's on video. Yeah, that's on audio. That's it's him saying it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, he died.
When he got on that JFK shit, that's when they took his ass out.
Hold on. But I want to say this, and I'm gonna let y'all cook. I want to say this. A lot of people don't know this. After Martin started changing his tune, okay, and start talking about we coming to get our bag, like Beans just said. Martin was assassinated. A month later, his mother, who claimed to want to run for Congress after her son's passing, was at the organ playing at the church on the organ playing, and a guy came in and shot her in the back of the head while she was playing. After that, a couple of weeks later, they found Martin Luther King's brother floating in a swimming pool. They wiped the whole fucking family out very quietly. They killed Martin first. They killed his mama. They killed his brother. Found his brother floating in the pool.
Now, why would you have to take out your puppet like that?
They took. What happens when you turn against the? When
well,
you turn
that was
against
his. That was his point of saying that he was a puppet until he wasn't.
Exactly.
Hey.
And I'll say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm done.
They bombed this house before then.
Who was the first? Who was the first person to call who called Martin Luther King a puppet? Who saw it first? Who said it first? Malcolm X. Malcolm X said your movement that you in is controlled by white people. You're working for them. Everything that you're doing is for white people. You are a puppet. Malcolm X called him out so many times. And Malcolm X said, hey, bro, I see it. These white people running your shit. You're not running nothing. What kind of power do you think you have? You have nothing.
Well, he's trying to end segregation. I mean, you kind of got to.
I'm going to read this and y'all can have it. It says, Malcolm X did publicly criticize Martin Luther King Jr. at times, portrayed him as being too closely tied to the white political establishment. Moderate liberals and nonviolent and to Malcolm X sometimes use language suggesting King as being controlled or influenced by white power structures. And,
how's that different? How's that different than when people be like, "Oh, you a puppet today"? Just be randomly talking shit. Like these guys were fucking rivals, and then on top of that, MLK is running a peaceful movement. And guess what, BMU? He understands. You need voters.
Okay,
you need voters.
You can also look at this, BM. When did Malcolm X say that? What year was that?
63.
And that's when he was the Nation of Islam.
Yeah, 63. But he
he was a puppet for the Nation of Islam at the time he said that. But you notice when he went to Mecca and he came back from Mecca, he changed his tune about how he felt about MLK. And they became friends.
I have a question. For you, Babe. If you could go back and you could be on either side of that conflict, right? Looking at the world now, you woke up, it was 1962, and you hear Malcolm and you hear Martin, and you went back, Beans and Tyrus, and you had to pick a side. Follow Malcolm or follow Martin. And you've been in 2026 and you woke up tomorrow, it's 1962. What side are you choosing?
I'm going to choose Malcolm. I mean, I'm going to choose MLK because I think at that time, only at that time, you got to look at it. Now, it's different, okay? But at that time,
hey, Tyrus, take over.
They would have most likely tried to eliminate us, and everything about what we do, or they would, because Markham was talking about being fully armed, and taking on white people fully armed, militia style. MLK was more, peaceful. I think if at that time we would have did like Malcolm did and wanted to do, I believe that they would have tried to shoot us. They would have given them grounds to shoot us down in the streets and eliminate a lot of bloodshed.
Beans, if you had to choose.
I mean, yeah, for me, it's Malcolm. I mean, it's just who I am. We actually had the same birthday, which was 6 days ago on the 19th. So when I was a kid in 1992, I learned about Malcolm from my white math teacher. Because we were so good at math, they couldn't teach us anything but algebra, which we were supposed to get in the 8th grade. So for the 7th grade, since we was already ahead of schedule, we didn't even do math really. We just read the autobiography of Malcolm X for the whole year. And then the movie came out. It was a couple of years before the movie came out. Then the movie came out and I saw the movie. And it was just like, at that time, I kind of like distance myself from Martin Luther King. Because I started feeling like this dude was kind of a sucker. Y'all had us celebrating this nigga and shit.
So Malcolm just more resonated with you. The wording.
Not letting people hit you resonated with me. Right. And the thing is, I think Beige, I don't know, but on one hand, you say he changed after he went to Mecca, right? So if I also have that understanding going back to 1962, then that means I can follow that, right? But it wasn't, he said itself, like white people can't join what I got going on, but they can't help.
What I mean by that,
you know?
What I mean by that, how he hated Martin Luther King at that time. He changed on the hate towards towards King at that time. That's what when I meant when he came back from Mecca. I know his mission was still, like it was. He just didn't have that hate in his heart towards Michael MLK like he did.
I will argue that it wasn't hate.
Before you guys get deep into it, Kamal, nice seeing you, man.
Let's do it, Chuck.
Real quick, go over what the original topic was, the MLK to Trump. Do you think it's a fair comparison? If so, what? And then your overall thoughts, what you heard in the MLK versus Malcolm, if you can, please.
Yeah, I think the MLK with the Trump comparison, that shit is bullshit, to be honest. I can't see it the same. You feel me? MLK was fighting for black folks, let's be real. You feel me? They sprinkled in that minority shit and civil rights. They signed that shit in, but he was fighting for black folks, okay? All right. So with Trump, we know who Trump fighting for at the end of the day. We don't even need to say it. All right. The whole puppet thing, though, I need more info on that because I'm like what Bean said, who is puppeteer? Who's the puppet master? You feel me? I think I know what BMU might say, but I'm gonna wait till he say it. You feel me? And then out the two, you see I got both on my wall because you feel me. I have great respect for both our icons. You feel me? But I'm gonna be a Malcolm X too, man. I'm gonna call these crackers, slap them in their damn face. I ain't fucking with it. None of that bullshit. You feel me? And I ain't gonna hold y'all though. MLK had them hit us with them too, though. You feel me? A lot of people don't want to say that. Yeah, he was like very peaceful and stuff in the front, but in the back, he had them hit us with him too after I think he got his ass whooped at one of them speeches. And after that, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna need protection after this.
Real quick, Kamal, because I want you to continue. Remember, guys, he'd been to jail and his house got bombed. He's gonna have hitters with him after that.
Right. That's what it was. It was after that boycott him, and at the boycott where he talking about he brought the hitters in with him. But I want to get on both of y'all, Bean and Kamal, where y'all brought up about how y'all would join X, right?
Mm-hmm.
You more because of who you are now and what our society is now as a black people. We, and how we are standing up now. But if you see the layout back then, and you was raised up back then, because life changed people, and life was different back then. So you have to look at the time and look at everything right there. If you came back then and you look at the situation of who you're going to follow and what's best for your people, you might say, okay, X got a good point. He is right. Sometimes we might need to knock these people out, but then you look at the atmosphere like, well, we do move like that. These give these white people permission to literally shoot us down the street because they're already doing kind of that in Mississippi. Now they give us the right to do that stuff in other places, and we start shooting back at them.
Right, understanding the point respectfully, and I mean that. I'm not a new millennium guy. They be like, respectfully, fuck you, bitch. But I maybe I just won't say it. I was gonna say I feel like you might be projecting a little bit because of how you feel, but believe me, I just know me. Right? Whether it's my birthday being May 9th, I've always been this kid, bro. Even when I was a kid. That's why I was homeless at 12, because I was a rebel. I rebelled. I talked back. You weren't supposed to do that in the black family. You know what I'm saying? Once I got to a certain age, my mama tried to whip me. I body slammed her. Fuck all that beating on me shit. You not finna be beating me with extension cords. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I don't care what your mama did to you, right? So that's just who I am. I've been a rebel all my life, right? And I know I would have signed up with the rebels. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, well, all that. Now, as an adult, I came to understand the message from Malcolm, the nonviolent message. Violence begets violence, right? So if they do something to us and then we do something to them, then they just gonna do something back, and then we just gonna do something back, and then it just becomes this, never, or how do they call it in Marvel, the Infinity War, right? I kind of understand that to some degree. Everything don't call for that, but a lot of people don't know. You had other groups then too. You had the Deacons of Defense. I think they was in Louisiana. They was, hey, listen, we got our guns, we got this and that. Y'all not finna just be treating us any kind of way. That's what it's more about. You know what I'm saying? And even Malcolm still debated. You know what I'm saying? Had conversations, went on talk shows, everything. So it's like, it's not like we leading with the weapons. We saying the weapons are necessary for defense the same way they're necessary for your defense, right? So I think I would have understood that, and I think I would have just followed the rebels.
And the thing about it, MLK hired the Deacon of Defense. You feel me? At the end of the day, you still had to have them hitters with you. You feel me? And I just feel that, real talk, back then, I would have been even more with Malcolm X. Because like what Bean said, MLK was kind of like a sucker to me back then. You hear all this peaceful protests and you got them sicking dogs on you and shit and slapping you in the face and hitting you with water hoses. You like, that don't make no sense to me. Why y'all taking all this type of physical abuse? Y'all not fighting back and shit. You feel me? But then as I got older, I was able to do more research and find out like, okay, MLK was taking that at first, but then he started hiring people to be like, nah, I'm not fucking with that no more. I got to protect myself. You know what I mean?
You know why I speak about it for like that, beings, is because, I'm in my 50s, right? And I spoke to my grandma and found that she marched through that stuff. You know, she was there. She's from Tennessee. She come from Lynchburg, Tennessee. So if anybody knows about that area, you know what I'm talking about. So, and so she told me about all that. And I asked her the same thing you did. How did? Because I was a little fight blowing up in the West Side Chicago. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I got that. It's like, yeah. And she said, it ain't that. It was just we didn't want to give them excuses to shoot us on the streets like dogs. And that's what they wanted, was excuses to shoot us down the streets like dogs. So we want the world to see that they beat us like dogs, better than shooting us like dogs, because they'll be more sensitive to people getting beat. If you try to track them
back. I'm gonna ask this question. Come on, I'm gonna start with you. If you can, we'll play alternate history for a little bit. How would you fuse the two, Malcolm X and MLK? Would it be a 60-40 balance? Would it be a 70-30 balance? Would you just outright choose have one and not the other? How would you set it up if you can go back and if you could go back in alternate time? Come on, go ahead.
It'd be more like an 80-20, you feel me?
80
Malcolm, you feel me? But like I said, I'm like, I gained more respect for MLK down the line, because I've started learning that he wasn't just as soft as people would make him seem. You feel me? I'm not with that soft shit, because white supremacy ain't with that soft shit. You feel me? They only understand at the end of the day, power, law, and violence. I hate to say it, but that's what they fucking listen to, okay? And Malcolm X, he was more on that, but I just hated that he had that infighting with the Nation of Islam and shit. You feel me? That was the big thing where I wished he would have been a little bit more, like MLK, kind of been a little bit more political with it and not so much out there with that shit. So that's why I mean the 80-20. I'm more with Malcolm X. You feel me? But that little tiff right there, I felt that kind of put a damper within the movement.
That's because he felt like they wasn't doing. Go ahead, man.
I mean, I don't know about that. If I could change history, I just go back and try to protect Fred Hampton. I think we could have got a lot more done if he would have stayed alive. I mean, if
Hold
you
on,
think
Beans.
about it.
You got to pick two, though, bro. I could have picked somebody else, though. You feel me?
Well, I mean, you answered the way you wanted to answer. You know, like I think.
Come on, Beans.
Fred
Come on,
Hampton,
be fair, dog.
Well, this is the thing. You saying you asked him for a percentage of this or a percentage of that, right? But what if that person already existed? Why do I need to fuse those two?
Okay.
That's taking one of them out of history, right? So I'm saying, but what if that person already existed? What if Fred Hampton was that person? What if that's the reason why they sent 8, 9, 10 cops into his house to just fire bullets all through that motherfucker? Because they knew what it was. They knew who he was. They could see in his talk, in the fire in his eyes, right? The echo and the vibrations in his voice, and the fact that people moved, gangs moved, you know, whites, Mexicans, blacks, everybody moved. Everybody was willing to take his lead, right?
So you said he was born 20 years before his time, 20 years ahead of his time, but after he should have been born, he should have been born 20 years earlier.
Not necessarily, right? Everything happens for a reason. I understand the point that you're making, but wisdom won't allow me to say that, right? Because we don't know if he would have turned out the same. It's like even saying maybe he should have been born later, right? Like today, if we had an actual Fred Hampton, but would it be, right? It's not like we haven't had human beings born, right? It's just that the people aren't affected the same way. You know what I mean? You see how they was talking about Al Sharpton and all these different guys, that Ben Crump guy. You look at the positions these guys hold, but look how they viewed by the black community, right? I mean, I ain't gonna say most, but a lot of people just don't even value or respect them because they don't really move for us for real. You see what I'm saying? But you talking about this guy at that particular time, everything that he had already went through, everything he was learning and knowing. I mean, this dude was 20 when they killed him, I think 20 or 21. He was mad young, right? And he still already had that kind of understanding about what was going on in society. So I'm saying we protect that dude. We make sure that dude stay alive. You know, maybe that dude at some point becomes one of the political figures. Maybe that dude make some necessary changes, even if it's just in Chicago, that may sprinkle out to other places. Or maybe we force their hand and then they show the world who they really are and they start exterminating black people overtly instead of this overt shit that they doing now.
Beige, before you go, Beans, that's probably the only pushback I would give you is that Fred Hampton was up in the North, and these movements, specifically with MLK, we're dealing strict Jim Crow segregated Jim South. Like that's sometimes a little bit different dynamics going on.
But but you said that's the pushback, but it's pushback to what though?
The influence, like for example, that was Chicago with Fred Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
And if he stays alive, again, that still might just be a more localized thing, whereas MLK was a more, again, national movement.
Right. So again, but you see what you're saying? You're saying it was a more national movement, but what was the criticism of that? Is that movement was being led by who? White people. Right. Allegedly. So that's what I'm saying. You protect the dude who's led by, run by, built by, paid for by, right? The black people, right? Even though they did accept government funding, right, which I think was problematic, to be honest with you.
Beans, everybody does it. Beans, everybody does it.
To start the WIC program.
Beans, come out. Everybody does it. Every organization does it.
That's fine, but I'm just saying I think that's what made it problematic, right? Like even I didn't know this until recently that somebody, one of them dictator type people from overseas had offered Louis Farrakhan $1 billion.
Yeah, but from Libya, what was his name? One day that Obama eliminated.
Gaddafi.
Yeah, that's a Nick. I couldn't get out of my head. Yep.
Right. So I'm saying like that's the kind of reach. You see what I'm saying? That Fred Hampton would have been able to have.
Well,
right?
you know,
And they
we
would have
have to
had to
have
do the
white
same
people.
thing with him that they did with the nation.
Yeah,
Beige,
white
so what do
people
you
in the
think?
street
Alternate
too.
history, Beige. How do you merge it together if you do?
Well, you know, I would like to. I agree with him about the Fred Hampton. You know, because I studied him, and you know, being from the West Side. Also, I know that he, like you were saying, that he would not be able to bring the people like the down south Jim Crow era, and I
Mhm.
believe that's not true because I believe that he will be because he had a group of white people in his organization with the Black Panther called the Confederate, and they was white people from way deep south in the south, so these stuff, like the race part of what we now is racist part of the south side of Chicago, which everybody know what I'm talking about, Bird, everything on that.
Fred Hampton's movement was literally called the Rainbow Coalition. Go ahead,
Yeah,
man. Yep.
right. He had a different. So he had this thing called the Confederate, which was white, and they believed that we're all in the same fight, and the government is trying to limit us because we're all poor people, and poor people are together. It don't make a difference if you're black, white, or whatever you are. It's all like which would fit perfectly today that the rich people are trying to take over, and the rich people wants to make us their slaves, wants to put us all in down, and we all need to come together and uplift each other to take over the establishment. So I look at him as a Fred Hampton kind of person that could be blended into like that. Yeah, I believe that would be my perfect thing. Yeah, because since Brain brought something like that, I had to think about what I know about him. Yeah, he will be. And when you said about the Southern Jim Crow era, yeah, but I think he would have enough hitters around him to protect him because he had enough hitters in Chicago.
Hey, hold on,
Come
hold on,
on,
hold on,
come on,
hold on.
come on. I got to give you a redo.
I'm about
Now.
to say, hey, I
Yeah,
respect
you got
your
to give you
answer,
a
though.
redo.
You feel me? Now I keep my
Go
answer
ahead.
the same. You feel me? Yo, hey,
Yeah.
hey, Beans, I got to get on your case, bro. You say you don't like when people don't answer the question, bro. You answered the question with the Fred Hampton, man. I appreciate the answer, bro. And Beige Race, come on, bro. What percentage, man? Y'all leaving them out? Y'all ain't giving no percentages?
Well,
None?
I already gave,
But that's,
I already gave my percentage though.
wait. He asked you that. He asked you the question, right? And then after he asked you the question, he said, like, what percentage 80-20, right? The first question, as he first asked it, did not suggest that. But after he asked the question, then he said, like, what would you do, like 80-20? And that's why in my mind, I'm thinking, like, well, yeah, that's fine, but that person already exists. You know what I'm saying? Why would I want to change that? The thing about this, what I learned, come on, is that like all the bad shit that happened to me, particularly in my childhood, I wouldn't change none of that shit. And the reason why is because you don't know what you're gonna get. You like, man, I don't like that happened to me. I want something different. But you don't get to control what that different thing is. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you just force me, if you just want me to say 80-20, whatever, man, I probably just rock with you and say 80-20, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that I think Martin Luther King was a very bright dude, but you know, the whole letting people beat up on you shit, I just don't rock with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Everything else seemed like he was, you know, pretty cool.
Well, if I got to go with I'm going for what I know now and what I don't know, because I'm a person I don't like what I don't know, and so I would have to go more with Martin Luther King on 80% because of what we know, what we have here now. We don't know what would happen if we say something like 90% of Malcolm X and what we would be at right now, or how we would be at right now.
All right.
So I'm still going to push back a little bit on the timeline aspect, on the alternate history, and here's why, guys. Fred Hampton, in my opinion, Beans, is why Malcolm and MLK was able to have a bigger platform. If Fred Hampton doesn't go, one of them two behind Kamal is then the one that goes first. And that's how it plays out. Like when I'm trying to play out, I try to play it out like game theory Beans, like a map and stuff like that. And so I'm thinking strategically, especially because I believe it was J. Edgar Hoover who had it out for Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
If it's not Fred Hampton, it's one of them first, right? One of them behind Kamal, Malcolm, or MLK doesn't get as far as they got. I think so. In my opinion, them two were able to. One of the reasons they were able to build such a bigger platform was because what happened to Fred Hampton.
Wait. Who was able to build a bigger platform?
Wait, well, didn't Fred have to come after them?
Yes.
Talk about MLK and Malcolm X.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, so here's the question he asked.
No.
Yes, Fred Hampton was killed December 4th, 1969.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, never, because it's the same day Jay-Z was born. So I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, though, right? So the question he asked, Kamal, he said, how would you fuse the two? Mm-hmm. So if you fuse them, you get something different, right? So that's why I was going with Fred Hampton. So then after he said that, then he said, like, would you do like an 80-20? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I asked the question that way, right? If you fuse them two, what I would want to get from that is Fred Hampton. This is somebody who didn't necessarily walk around with guns. We wasn't taking pictures and shit. But at the same time, you know damn well he ain't finna let you beat up on me.
Holy shit, Fred Hampton had better organizational skills.
He called
he had the charisma of Malcolm X.
Holy shit! No, because I had the for whatever reason I had the decade Beans Beige come out. I had the decade mixed up. That's the same time, and now I'm remembering it. The dude had better organizational skills than both of them.
He had the ability to join different races together. He had the ability to join different races together, like MLK. But he had that strength and that power like X. He had that radicalness, like, yo, we ain't gonna play with these people like that. But he had that bring everybody that speaking like King did, that smoothness, like, hey, we all need to work together and get this established for all of us to go this way.
So you got to remember that Fred Hampton was a Black Panther, right? Mm-hmm. So that the organization itself, again, like when you say like, oh, that was in the North, not necessarily, right? The Black Panthers had chapters in multiple states across the country, right? From the east to the west.
Well, California, right? Too.
Yeah, that's where it started at. They the reason why them niggas couldn't carry guns out there, right? Because they went out there with guns, right? So, but my point is that what they see, okay, this dude right here is different, right? This dude is thinking. Right, it's a skill set that I also have, right, which is to be able to see the people who actually thinking, right, not just talking, not just saying shit. Like, nah, this nigga thinking. It's different. He's processing information. He's understanding that, yo, it's more than just about this. It's also about this. See, Malcolm X was more about independence, right? Malcolm X would have been on some, look, we need our own land, our own animals, our own infrastructure, our own hospitals, our own banks, our own everything. That's what he was on. Martin Luther King was on, well, I know y'all not going to carve out nothing for us. Just let us peacefully integrate with you and let us be able to just have our house, White House with the picket fence, our dogs, our wife, our kids, and just don't beat on us. Leave us alone and don't try to impede our growth. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna rock with y'all. We cool. We all that stuff in the past. We leave that in the past and we move forward. Fred Hampton was a fusion of the two. He understood like, yo, we all gotta do this together. But at the same time, though, I'm still trying to make sure my black people get some shit. I'm still trying to make sure my black people straight. I still want my black people to have infrastructure for themselves because in Chicago, that's how it's set up. Yeah. Chicago's one of the most segregated cities in the country. You got a whole area where the Indians be at. You got an area where the Arabs be at. You got an area where the Hispanics be at. You got an area where the small hats be at. I mean, and then you got areas where it's black people at, right? So, and in some pockets where it's kind of fused, but most of it, any area, there's going to be a predominant force there, blacks or Hispanics or whatever, right? So it's okay for it to be like that as long as you ain't policing it different. It makes no difference if it's segregated like that, as long as you're not policing it different, as long as you ain't got this school over here, got the 8th graders reading like on the 1st grade level, and this hospital don't got aspirin in it for some damn reason. You see what I'm saying? Like, as long as you ain't doing that shit, who cares about segregation?
Because I have to look at it like he had that way he could, deal with the politicians, manipulate to the politicians. He had a way where he could, like MLK did. He had a way he could move through the community with different, racist groups, because he had like the Latin lords and all that. He had the Confederates. He had different.
He probably assumed integration was baked in eventually.
Because he thought about
that was just going to happen.
Politically. Yeah,
eventually it would have just been.
You and I can have the same agenda politically, and we do not have to live in the same neighborhood.
Agreed.
Thank you. That's
you
right.
Know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't have to be in the same neighborhood, but we both support universal health care. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, your picket fence, White House, and you can have your little piece of land over there, and I can have my White House picket fence and my little piece of land over here, and we all can be happy as awesome.
Did Fred Hampton have any like controversy with him or anything like that?
No.
I mean, he went to trial.
No, they just didn't. He didn't live long enough to see himself become a villain. You know what I'm saying? They took him out at 20. You see what I'm saying? He didn't live like a lot of people don't know. Huey P. Newton lived. I think he made it maybe to his 40s before he was
killed. They try to put him with some terrorists. Remember that jury trial he went on? They tried to put him as a terrorist for a minute, domestic terrorist. And
that's the thing, Kamal. Every single thing they tried to drum up on on Fred Hampton was all that shit was staged.
Because he wasn't even in the city or whatever it was.
Yeah, they couldn't do like he was just he was.
They had to take him out at 21 years old, bro.
Yeah.
They had to take his ass out.
He could have. It would have. It was, and that's what I'm saying. They had the ability to understand that, right? Like the dude J. Edgar Hoover. This is what trips me out about conservative blacks, though, because it's like if this dude said out of his mouth, or at least on paper, that our number priority is stopping the rise of a black messiah, why don't you think that shit matters? How can you say, nah, that don't matter? What? Wait, what do you mean? The head of the FBI said that, right? Like that. So you don't think it matters? But then people want to pretend like, no, we the same as them. No. We weren't the same as them. Maybe we are the same as them now. Yeah, I give you that after 50, 60 some years, maybe we are the same as them. We the same trifling corrupt as them, but we weren't that then. And that's why they went through all the trouble they went through to get us to this point.
You know, give me being about conservatives too, MAGA is like, I tell real quick, you want me to join a party where I know it's known, and there's no doubt about it, there's nothing to dispute it, that there is racist groups in it, and they're proactive, letting you know from the Proud Boys on down that wants to eliminate every right that I have as a human being. And you want me to help them by joining them and voting for them. So you basically want me to get somebody a gun to shoot me with. That's how I look at it. It just don't make no sense.
I mean, that's all of them, in my opinion, though. The Democrats, you know, it's
that's heard.
They just destroying you in a different way.
Yeah,
right. It's like it's one is covert and the other one's overt. They just destroy in a different way. It's the same. It's two sides of the same coin.
But I look at it like at least one gave me slow poison. The devil I know, the devil I don't know. Because even with the Democratic Party, until we could establish a party of our own that is political, where it could hold office and bring power, you know what I mean? Like that kind,
which can't happen.
Right. I agree with you.
There's no way we can establish a party of our own. Even if we did, it would make a difference. If white people don't vote the way we vote, we won't never put nobody in office that we want there.
Or in the other minority group.
So it's not going to work, right? So it's not.
No, I agree with you on that. And that's why I say at this time the best party for the minorities are the Democratic Party, because at least we could put enough of minorities into it, flood it more with minorities into it. That's the way we take it over.
Beige Rage, can I ask you something though? Do you think they be backdooring us black folks with that minority shit though? Because it seems like a lot of times when they hit us with the minority shit, white women get the most of the benefits. So
Well, when I say minority, I look at it not the white woman. I look at it in the voting thing. Not the I look at it in when I speak in the voting. More minorities vote Democratic than anything else. I don't, and even with white women too. More educated white women vote Democratic. So, but that's what I mean by when I say the minority. I know white women get it, but they push for like they do. They push for the same thing we pushing for.
Yeah,
And that's part.
I teach my kids and anybody else who will listen to just not vote. It's a waste of time. It's vote for what? What am I voting for? Okay, let's go through it. I vote for Barack Obama. He ain't do shit for black people. I vote for Biden. He brought 12 million immigrants into the country and fucked up the economy. I vote for Trump. This nigga tear down motherfucking the welfare system. Like, vote for what? I vote for Bush. He take us to motherfucking Afghanistan and Iraq. I vote for Clinton. He sent a whole bunch of motherfucking jobs and shit overseas. Like,
you know what I vote for?
What?
I vote for the economy.
Like that.
I vote for the economy.
Hold on, can I ask me something? Have you voted before though? Have you practiced in the political process?
No, because I never saw it. I voted in one local election. I don't even remember what it was for, but I just never saw it. It never made sense to me after that. I was like, this just don't even make sense. I vote for the motherfucker, he don't win. I vote for the motherfucker, he do win. Then he do all this shit that he didn't tell me he was gonna do. And then when he get in there and do the fuck shit, guess what everybody say? Well, you voted for him. As if I voted for him to go do that shit. Like, I'm cool on that, bro.
Well, I vote because I know, to my opinion, if my vote didn't count, they wouldn't be trying to do all they trying to do to eliminate my vote. So they must be scared of something, right?
I don't even think it's really about that.
Guys, y'all know I gotta unfortunately, man, look, I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of my black lineage. I am a combat vet. My ancestors have fought for this right to vote. God damn it, we need to practice all of our constitutional rights, bro. At the very minimum, the beans, guess what? The people that hate you, they practice their constitutional rights.
Yeah,
you got to practice yours just as hard.
Hold on, Beige. Hold on, Beige. Bro, don't do that.
I have to, bro.
Don't do that whole.
I have
people
to,
died for it and all of that. Don't do
I
that.
have to.
That shit don't mean nothing, bro.
Please, I have to, bro.
That shit. Hey, listen, watch this. I'm gonna get Kamal. See, this is what I'm talking about. I might not change your mind on your opinion, but this is evidence that I think, right? Kamal. So watch this. His argument was, people died. Back in the day, it was black people who died to keep the Confederacy alive, to keep slavery alive. So yes or no, should I want slavery to still be a thing? Should I want the Confederacy to still be a thing, seeing as how there were black people who fought and died for it? Just yes or no?
That was a no.
No, okay. Because the vast majority of black people voted against it.
It's okay, but what if those was my ancestors though? What if my ancestors was the one who fought for the slavery and fought for the Confederacy?
Then it is your right as an American beings to say
whatever
you
right.
want.
This is why you niggas hate yes or no questions. Because yes or no questions make you stand on something. Forget my right. My ancestor fought for slavery and fought for the Confederacy. Yes or no, do you think it's smart for me in 2026 to want slavery back and the Confederacy? Yes or no?
No.
Hold on.
I just said no.
No. So no. Okay, thank you. Then here's the other thing. If I gave you a vote, you got more than one kid, right?
Yeah.
If I gave you a vote, you either pick one of your kids to live or the other kid to live. Would you want to vote? Yes or no?
No, I wouldn't want to vote.
Okay. So now what he just proved is he understands my logic. Him thinking that we should vote is based on his emotional appeal to voting. But he understands I'm being logical. Wait, I'm almost done.
Okay.
He understands that I'm being logical. He doesn't want to have to pick between two fucking evils, which I don't want to have to do either. Right. And at the same time, he don't, just because somebody fought and died for something does not mean today that we have to usher that thing in and keep perpetuating that thing today, because you wouldn't want the shit that some of our black ancestors fought and died for to be alive today. So those are not good enough excuses to vote. Here's a good enough excuse to vote. Fred Hampton running? What do I sign up at? Where do I punch my vote at? Michelle Alexander running? Where do I sign up at? Where do I punch my vote at? Somebody who I know for sure when they get in there, they're going to be thinking about my black ass. Because y'all keep telling people to vote in their interests. None of these motherfuckers ain't got my interests at hand.
What about Cornell?
I understand your logic. I understand your logic, Beans, but you do understand, at least that I understand it. I just disagree and here's why. What you just described with I got to choose one of my daughters, that's what's called a voter initiative, right? And at the state level, we typically vote on the things. As another example, do we put the traffic cameras up, right? The photo cameras up. You don't vote for that at a federal election. Right, you only vote for your representatives at a federal election.
Right.
What you just so unfortunately, you just described two different voting things, because when we're choosing between a person, we're not choosing between death of one person or the other. We're choosing their policies. When we're choosing the voter initiatives, the one-on-one matters. But here's the thing, Beans. Even we have to take your logic further, because in the voter initiative, this is why I said I don't want to vote. You didn't let me finish. I still have to vote, because guess why? Guess what, Beans? The voter initiative says one of my daughters are dying anyway. You see, that's the logic train you didn't follow all the way down. In the voter initiative, one of my daughters has to die, right? It's the state, right? It's a voter initiative. The majority is either going to vote for one of my daughters to live, right?
Yes.
Right, Beans? So
I'm saying, the answer is no. The answer is no, but yes, I get the point that you're making.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the answer is no. But again, unfortunately, in your logic train, I don't want to vote, but I would have to anyway.
Absolutely. Now watch this. Wait, hold on. Watch this. So I was putting the vote just on you, right? But let's put it on everybody else. Now, how does your vote matter? One of your daughters is going to die.
Right.
It matters by the count. You just gotta hope that whoever
because now
why would you even participate still? What's the logic in you participating?
Beans, because unfortunately it sucks, but now you have to have what y'all talk about all the time, the tough hypothetical. So now we got to have the tough hypothetical, because it's going to happen anyway, about which daughter we prefer to stay alive. Yep. That is the logical train.
But you don't have to
participate. So Beans, that's what I'm answering you. That's what we're all on this block going to be voting for. Do we vote for this daughter who we view as more potential, or do we vote for the other daughter that's more potential? The whole dynamic has now changed.
But here's the point. You don't have to. That's the point. You don't have to vote. Even if everybody else is, you don't have to, right? So what if you vote for the one daughter, but everybody else vote for the other daughter? Now the daughter you voted for gone, and the other daughter like, Dad, I can't believe you voted against me. Like, or you can just abstain, right? And say, I ain't participating.
I could abstain, or in this hypothetical, it is what it is, and I just make it clear which one I prefer, and at least that one that's alive, no, that's my favorite.
Well, I'm not gonna say I respect it, because I don't, but that to me, I
don't either. This is a hypothetical, Beans. Please.
No. I'm saying
please.
But that's the point. That's what I'm saying. In the hypothetical, even at this level, you're saying I'll still make a choice. That makes no sense, especially if I don't have to. You see what I'm saying? That's the point. I don't have to do it. It's different if you have to. Then I will understand it. But you have a third option. Your third option is not to choose.
Really, Beans.
Go ahead.
Beans.
Go ahead.
But see, Beans, you keep trying. See, Beans, unfortunately, I got to call you out because you keep trying to hold us to do the either or option.
It's
but
not
then
either
you were
or.
like,
That's
well,
my
I could
point.
choose
You have a
not
third
to.
option.
Like, come on. But
you have a third option.
But you keep telling us we got to hold to to pick one.
No, I'm saying.
And so we do. And so I pick it in good faith.
If it's two. Well, listen to what I'm saying. If you are presented with something and there's an either or, don't be disingenuous and not pick one. Pick one. But if somebody is giving you three, you have more than two to pick from.
Now I'm about to pull you, Beans. Now I'm about to pull you because that's not what you combined. You did not combine that first. First, you only said you had to pick. You didn't add the third option until after the fact. That's exactly what you do, Beans.
Bro, that's not what just happened. Do you want me to rewind? Do you want me to go screenshot the transcript so you can see what just happened?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you. The point of me asking you this is like, yo, I asked you if you had to pick, would you want to? And you said no.
Yes, and I said no, I wouldn't want to pick, but unfortunately.
So stop right there. That's not me telling you to pick. That's me asking you if you would want to. Do you if I'm crazy, I'm gonna go to bed then. If anybody else tell me they don't understand the difference between having two choices and somebody asking you if you would want to pick. If everybody else say they don't see the difference in that, I'll just log off. Because I'm not doing no silly shit on the internet no more.
Beige and Kamal, most of us don't want to go to work, but we have to go to work.
That's different though.
No, it's not. That's the same principle.
It's not.
I don't want to go to work, but I have to. I ain't got a choice.
Here's the thing.
I don't
want my daughters to die, Beans, but one of them has to. So
but listen what I'm saying. The scenario is that one of them is going to. But the question, what I'm saying is this. You said, bro, you like to give us either ors. I didn't give you a either or.
Yes, you did. You didn't give us the third option.
I'm going to try it one more time,
Beans.
Farouk. I said this to you the last time we was on the panel together and you left. Bro, sometimes you niggas got to learn how to let it go when you're wrong. Listen Beans, to understand.
But you're the one who's wrong.
Listen to understand, Taruth. I'm going to say it one more time.
Oh, my God, bro. I already answered your questions, by the way, so I don't know what point you're trying to make.
Listen to what I'm saying. There is a difference between me saying, which daughter do you pick? That's your either or. And me saying, would you even want to pick? Those are two different things. Do you get that?
How did I answer you, Beans? How did I answer that question?
Wait, do you understand that? Yes or no?
Yes. How did I answer the question?
Okay.
No. Stop that. I answered your question. Now you answer mine. How did I answer your question?
No. You accused me of
I said no, right?
Either or situation when I didn't.
I said no, right? I said no. I wouldn't want to. So what are you doing?
Because you said I put you in the either or. And I didn't. I didn't put you in the either or. I asked you if you would even want to participate in the either or. That's what I did.
Audience, this is why when I do my show tomorrow, I don't have a lot of people come up because too many people routinely, when you see them on panel to panel, they get so angry over hypotheticals and shit that never happened.
I'm not angry over the hypothetical. I'm angry over the fact that you are so fucking in your ego that you can't stop for 1 second and realize you just acknowledged to me that you answered me no to the question I asked. So if I put you in the either or,
I answered your question 3 times.
No.
Bro, look at you.
You would have had to pick one.
Hypothetical Beans.
Instead of talking about me, respond to what's coming out of my mouth.
I literally answered your question when you asked
it. So therefore, why don't you acknowledge that you were wrong when you said I put you in the either or? Acknowledge
it. Beans, you're mad at me for answering your questions.
I'm mad at you because you're being a fucking obtuse person for no reason.
Okay, dog.
I answered your question in good. You're literally better than this, bro. You're better. All you have to do is just communicate with me. I'm not them other niggas you argue with.
I literally communicated with you, dog.
Okay, so stop. So Taruth, then if you're communicating, here's the question, Taruth. What? You accuse me of putting you in either or. Do you take it back now?
No, because that's exactly what you did.
No.
I literally just said, no, I don't take it back.
Right. So, but you just said you answered my question with a no. So if your answer was no, how could the question have been either or, Tarus?
Because you literally said I had to vote. You literally gave us two options at the time, right? One was picking between the daughter and the other one was picking between the federal government. Like, are you even keeping up with your own question chain, bro? Are you even keeping up with your own question chains?
Yes, absolutely.
No, you're not. As a matter of fact, Beans, as a matter of fact, since you made the threat already, I'll sit right here while you pull up the transcript. You made the threat, now fucking do it.
Bro,
pull up the transcript.
Wait. You just
No, I'm done. I'm not saying anything else. Pull up the transcript like you made the threat.
That's fine. I asked you, right? I just asked you, right? I said, what did I ask you? Would you want to vote? And you said, I answered you. I said, no. So if the question was, would you want to vote? I'm not asking you to. I'm the one who's arguing that you shouldn't vote. So why would I have created a scenario and then tried to force you to vote when the whole point of my argument was that you shouldn't have to? That's the reason why I used your fucking kids, because I was hoping you was going to say, nah, I wouldn't want to vote, and then be like, okay, I understand what you're saying, and then let it go. But then you made the argument, nah, but I'm still going to vote for one of my kids to die. You made that.
Wait, so you're mad that I agree with you? So wait, everybody, did y'all hear that? He's mad that I answered like he wanted to, but then continued the hypothetical.
No.
This is fucking insane.
It's Tarus. Everybody
will tell
you can't do this to me. I'll follow along very well.
I am doing this to you. Pull up the transcript.
Absolutely, Tarus. I got upset because you accused me of putting you in the either or when my question.
I still am. And when you asked me that, and guess what? I still am. Beans, guess what? I'm done with this. Pull up the transcript.
The either or was no. It doesn't matter. We're saying it right now when we're disagreeing. So why am I gonna do that work just for you to not
because you made the threat. You made the threat multiple times.
I'm not doing all that work for you to not acknowledge.
Bro, because I know I'm right and I know you're wrong. So
that's what I just said. Your ego is. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say these niggas don't ever want to admit when they fucking wrong? I just said that.
But you never admit you're wrong. You know what I mean?
About what? What am I wrong about, Tarus? Tell us.
Putting me, you're lying and saying you didn't put me in the either or. You absolutely put me in the either or. That's why I'm telling you, go pull up the transcript. We can sit right here and pull up the transcript.
That I didn't. When you said that you answered my question,
you did.
No, Tarus. Do you not hear yourself?
So everybody's got to answer. So everybody's got to answer your hypotheticals with the either or. But then when we ask you the either ors, all of a sudden, you got to pull out third options.
No, listen, I asked you a question.
Like Beige, this is crazy. Like, we got to play by the rules. He doesn't get to play by the rules. Like, Beige, I asked, remember, Beige, this all started because I asked you guys if you would combine MLK and Malcolm, and Buddy over here just completely dodged the fucking question. You get what I mean? And now he tries to turn around on us and then tries to hold us to some fucking standard. He don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. You don't even keep up with your own life. Pull up the transcript.
I went back, played the video, came back tomorrow and told you what he asked. Literally,
Beans, pull up the transcript.
Remember that?
I can't hear you.
I told you what he asked. Literally, his question was,
you're speaking another language now. Pull up the transcript.
That was his question. How would you fuse the two? Are you into Marvel at all? Come on.
Yeah, Marvel and
what's that one character where it's the scientist dude and that black cat, and when they fuse them, they become a whole nother person.
Dark Star, some star.
I don't know the character. I know you talk about though.
So he said, "How would you fuse them?" Then he said the 80 and 20%. But
we was talking about two specific people. Right? We was talking about two specific people, not one, Beans.
If we're not gonna talk and then you talking, then not talking, then you talking.
Oh my God, Beans.
So here's what I'm saying though. Then watch this. Then once you mentioned it, I came back and said, yeah, I would do 80-20. right? But all of that is fucking irrelevant because we're a half hour away from that. What we on right now is that he tried to say, I put him in an either or. And I'm like, no.
Yes.
In that particular context, I didn't put you in the either or. I was asking you if you would even participate in it. And just because you chose to say yes, that's not me putting you in it. I was expecting for you to be like every other rational motherfucker on the planet and be like, no, I'm not picking between my two daughters. But you didn't.
And Paul, and guys, did you not?
Yes.
Once again, did you guys not hear that? I literally answered the question when I told them, no, I wouldn't pick.
I heard it all. We gonna reset the room.
I ain't got no choice. They gonna pick it anyway.
Hey, we gonna reset the room.
This is crazy.
Let's say Fred Hampton 3 times.
Right.
Fred Hampton. God damn.
Nah, you all right with me. That was crazy, bro.
This is why I don't talk about voting. It gets spicy in this motherfucker. God.
It was definitely Tarus. I'll put you like this. The question was meant to be rhetorical. If I didn't ask it in a rhetorical way, then that's on me. But I thought by me suggesting, would you even want to vote, which was the question I actually asked you, I thought you would understand that. It's not like I don't want to have to. I didn't even want to have to use that. I don't want to talk about your kids dying. I actually apologize for you.
Beans, I know that. I know this isn't perfect.
So I apologize.
Beans. You see, I didn't get offended when you mentioned
the
kids, bro. I put that. But let me explain now. I put the kids like I put our wives or our girls, like this hypothetical grade. Right. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll try not to get personal with that kind of crap.
Thank
so I get what you mean.
Offended because I probably would have been offended.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'm saying is
because I'm what they call that shit? Superstitious. I'm superstitious.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I'm apologizing for even putting you in that bag because I probably wouldn't want to be in that bag.
So at least before I continue, we're on the same page. We put our this thing, the hypothetical kids over here, gray, right, football mask kind of shit. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Right. The other part, again, I told you again, I agreed with your logic, but I was demonstrating to you, Beans, how seriously I take
voting. Yes, that's my point. Yes,
you know what I mean. That's why I'm not going. That's why I can't say. Unfortunately, that's why I can't say like. But and then there's a lot of things, Beans. I didn't want to disagree with you, but I don't like the whole both parties suck. One is clearly better than the other, dog. But that's another conversation. That's another conversation.
No, it's not this conversation.
Y'all ass bullshit. What y'all talking about?
Wait, Tarun, which one?
About like the Republican and Democratic Party being the same.
Which one is better? Which one is better?
Democrat Party.
Out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah. Again, Beans, and I want to be clear. I support a multi-party system, like where my wife is from in Germany. They got like 5-6 parties they can choose from, Beans. Right. That's awesome. I support that. But as the system exists today, Democratic Party for me is just better than the Republican Party.
Listen, how long Trump been in office? 2 years? 1 year? 1 year? 1 year?
I don't know.
5.5 years ago, I would have agreed with you. I would agree with you 5.5 years ago. But after Biden dropped 12 million immigrants on me, fuck that nigga, bro. And fuck that party.
Straight up, bro.
Well, and the Democrats did a lot of bullshit prior too.
What's going on?
You know what, man? I understand where you was coming from. Where you got all your information through your life and through your history and through your reading, and you put everything together and did your analysis and you put your little data, and you came to conclusion like, fuck it, I'm just going to sit here and watch what happens.
Period. I couldn't put it better than that myself.
It's not a good answer either, y'all.
JT, what you got for us tonight, bro?
If I got the answer he want to hear, but it's the answer he got.
It's a terrible answer.
JT, what you got for us, bro?
Yeah, man, when it comes down to the voting thing, though, I'm definitely against people not voting. Definitely against that bullshit, man. When it comes down to it, I think that infiltration of the system is what we should be teaching the next generation. That sitting back and just let motherfuckers, you in America, you got the right to vote. And it's fucked up. And the system is is corrupted, of course. But the thing is that it's because it's not enough of us people, and I'm talking about like-minded people that are actually in the system. I think we just have a problem. I just got a big fucking problem with us sitting back and letting other motherfuckers pick for us. It's always been a big problem with me. I don't think that not voting is a good answer. It's an answer, but it's not a good answer. You know what I'm saying?
Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Did you
Absolutely,
vote for,
I did.
Biden?
When he was vice president.
You know that ain't what I'm asking. Did you vote for Biden?
Not as a president, no.
Absolutely. So you voted and you didn't get who you voted for.
What you mean?
You didn't vote for Biden, but you got him.
Right? Yeah, I didn't vote for right. I mean, that's the reality of life. That's what it is. But my answer still wouldn't be to not vote. My answer would be first and foremost to first get like I said, the next generation understand that voting is just one component of picking who your candidates is, the person that you want, right? So it comes from elections. I mean, not elections. What's before voting, Tyrus?
The primary?
Nominating, right? Understand who's in the running, understanding exactly what you have to vote for. So when we talking about who Trump and Biden and all that, that's executive, right? But at the end of the day, I have a city and I have some shit on the ballot that I feel that I need to have my voice heard on, and people that's like-minded. So locally, I'm going to definitely put my vote in. When it comes down to what's the other things that they have? Fuck the people, but what's the other things that they? No, I'm saying as far as like the proposals, right? Mm-hmm. Every state has different proposals, right? I was disappointed in my state this last election because we had only one fucking proposal, and it was just for the school millage. It was some bullshit ass proposal. It was the same thing when it came down to the judges. I know the judges that's not only in my city, but the cities that's right next to it. I also understand who my Congress is also. We got more power than we give ourselves credit for when it comes down to the vote. All right, brother. We have more power when it comes down to it. Of course, I understand the corruption that's in there, but if we have, I hear myself, but when it comes down to, of course, I understand.
You got your controls, mute them. Yeah.
So when it comes down to the things that we can control, we need to do that, but we need to push forward, because my whole thing is that voting and nominating and things like that, we just need to get our people to a point where they can be more knowledgeable about how how it works, and they have to you still have to be involved. Because that shit sound crazy as fuck when we sitting on the fucking bench and we still just criticizing. That don't fit right with me. That's just how I look at it.
Mm. So JT is my man.
100 grand, nigga. What we talking about?
None of that shit you just said made any fucking matter. And I ain't gonna say it didn't make sense.
Yeah, but we had a conversation.
I went away from sense intentionally.
Yeah.
None of that shit made any matter. I'm saying it ignorant like that on purpose.
Yeah. Sure.
I know you're supposed to say it don't matter or it don't make sense. I'm saying it, combining them. I'm fusing. Okay. I'm trolling to roots. I'm fusing them. None of that shit made any matter.
Sure.
Okay. And here's the reason why. People love to go to the local thing, right? But even there, you don't get to say so. Right? When the motherfucking immigrants came into Chicago, guess where they dropped them off at? In the neighborhood where people look like me at.
Mm-hmm.
Did they get a say so? Nope. Right? When they came around to them allocating the money to those immigrants and the people who voted for that pussy black mayor Johnson that's in there now came to him with their little proposal, right? And saying, hey man, won't you put this on the ballot for us to be able to vote on? We don't want our money going to these people. He could have done it. He said no. So again, all that shit be sounding good anecdotally, but what we talking about is as a people, right? And as a people, that shit ain't drawing no blood for us. None. People want to feel, and this is exactly why they created this system this way, so that people could feel like they got some power, feel like they making decisions, like they in control of something, right? And then they ignore all the shit that's really affecting them that they don't actually have any fucking control over, and just want to, but I voted though, right? No, absolutely fucking not, right? I told my people them not to vote that black motherfucker in. You might as well vote the white dude in. That way, when the white dude ain't doing shit for you, it makes sense. He's fucking white. But now you vote the black dude in there, and he's still doing everything that makes life worse for you. That motherfucker ran on no new taxes. Guess what?
Can I ask you a question, though, Bean?
Taxes through the motherfucking roof for homeowners. Right after he said he wasn't gonna do it. That's my point, bro. It's like it's all. Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
So, if they just blatantly just said, okay, well, since we have a low turnout when it comes down to black folks voting, and they say, well, fuck it, we just not even going to count black people's vote. How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't care. Like,
see,
that's I wouldn't care. Here's the thing: that's not gonna happen. What's a low turnout? Give me a number right now. Don't bullshit.
Yeah, 25, 30%.
25 to 30%?
Of black folks, yeah.
So 10% is 4.2 million. So 30% would be about 12.6. 12.6. That's a lot of fucking people voting.
Not when you're talking about other races. Not when you're talking about other races.
That's damn near the whole Asian demographic. How many of them motherfuckers is it really? About 20? That's damn near all of them.
Yeah, so
that's still probably more voters than Asians.
Yeah, but my thing is that we have a problem with participating. The thing is that we already have a problem with not being heard. We already have a problem with not having our voices heard. One of the problems that I see is that we just giving up.
Right there for a second.
Yeah.
How can you say that with a straight face that we already have a problem with being heard while having the vote?
Because we don't hear each other. We don't take our shit serious. We don't take electing and politics. We don't take none of this shit seriously as a whole as black folks.
That's not what you meant when you said we already.
That's
have
exactly what I meant.
Heard.
Come on, homie.
We have a problem with being heard. You were talking about from the establishment.
No. I'm talking about in America. We are in America, first, right? So we are Americans. My whole point is that we have a problem with being heard. Now, the nuance in that is because we don't even take each other serious. And so we expect the rest of the world to take us serious. What are you talking about?
Mean we don't take each other serious?
We don't. For one, we should never be telling one another that we should not vote because it don't make a difference.
It has nothing to do with us.
Sound crazy to me, bro.
Okay, it sounds crazy to you, but you're not answering the question. What does we don't take each other serious mean?
When you start talking about these things like what Tyrus do and whatever, when we talk about with politics and shit like that, dog, we don't have motherfuckers that's involved in politics. We just have motherfuckers we don't take that shit serious. And we don't take each other's facts or whatever it is that we bring up when it comes down to politics. We don't take it seriously. And I'm talking about as a whole, as black folks in America.
Let me give you that. Let me give it to you because I concede. Why?
I don't know. You need to tell me.
Absolutely. Because every fucking time we tried to, we got railroaded, undermined.
Yeah. And when you try, you try again.
Like, why do y'all want people to keep bumping their head against the fucking wall? Why? Because that's what I'm gonna tell my son and my daughter to fuck with that bullshit at all. No. Listen, as long as ain't nobody stopping you from getting some money, as long as ain't nobody stopping you from having a family, bro, go get you some money, get you a family, chill, get out the fucking way. Fuck them politics. Let them have that shit. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. We had a motherfucker come up here and say, I'm voting for Trump and I'm voting for the Republicans. Shit, because I'm talking about my money doing real well. But at the same time, the money do better when the Democrats is in office. Nigga, what?
Now I can agree with you. No, I can agree with you. If you keep trying the same thing over and over again and bump your head, of course, that shit sound crazy as hell. But there's so many other options that we have that we are not even privy to, or we're not even making. We don't even go in and research this shit. I'm just saying, it's way more ways. We still got to try, bro. That whole thing of just checking the fuck out, that shit, it don't sit with me well, bro.
Hey, can I ask you something real quick, Ricky? Can I ask you something real quick, brother? Yeah. How do you feel about the black politicians right now? From the mayor in Baltimore to the Chicago mayor to...
They shitty. Most of these motherfuckers is shitty as hell. I mean, dog, I don't live in Detroit anymore, but I'm right there. I'm in the region of Detroit. And that mayor that we just got, that new female mayor that we got, shitty as fuck. Shitty as fuck. It's fucked up. The system is fucked up, but it's because my whole thing is that it's because one of the things is that people want to do what the fuck they want to do. We need to get involved too. If we got motherfuckers that's fucking up, it's just going to happen that way. This ain't just for us. This is actually for our and Beans, this is the thing. I understand exactly what you're saying, homie. I just don't believe and I don't agree with just checking the fuck out of politics is the answer. I think infiltrating the politics is even more. We need to have even more people that's in politics. Black folks that's in politics. That's just how I look at it, homie.
If you was a stranger, I probably would be saying all kind of disrespectful shit.
I know you would.
At the end of the day, y'all can't back this shit up with nothing. That's the problem. My man Kamal just asked you a question about what you think about the black people that's in politics now, and you call them shitty. It's like, so we need more shitty motherfuckers? Like,
yes.
Come
JT,
on, man.
Get it right. Until we get it right. Checking the fuck out don't sit well with me, bro.
JT.
Yes, sir.
To Beans's point, JT, you couldn't even mention one that you thought was average, above average.
I don't know. I'm not versed. No, but this is the thing, Tyrus, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm not versed in everybody that's, average or whatever. I'm pretty sure that they are, because nigga, we doing well. I'm telling you, we doing. I see motherfuckers that got money. I see motherfuckers that's happy. I see motherfuckers that got their families and shit like that. So I'll be a lie if I just sit back and act like without everything that, you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying from my point of view, when it comes down to that particular thing, I just don't believe. And I was one of those dudes that was saying it at first, that your vote don't count and all that shit. But I'm saying that I understand that it sometimes is going to cost too. But I also understand that there's more components than just voting. You have to be involved. There's no other way that you can do it.
JT, the reason why I asked you about the black politician stuff is because, because you said that we need to infiltrate, right?
Yes.
And it seems like the infiltration not working. We have a plethora of black politicians that's fucking terrible. You even from Stacey Abrams, Karen Bass. I mean, the list goes on. You know what I mean? So I think my question would be for you: who would we replace them with to infiltrate, to have like-minded? I don't really know your policies and shit, but just say for yourself, who would you switch that out? Because we talk about the political system. So who would you switch?
I wouldn't know who to switch them out with. I just don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you right now. I'm just saying that I understand that the world changes. The mindset of the people changes. It definitely does. It's not going to be the same as how we see it right now in 50 years, right? Politics would not be the same as what we see it as now. So if we just sit back and we say that all black folks had one mind and we all said, fuck that, we ain't doing all that goddamn voting and all that shit, and we just start just living our lives the other way, politics is still going to be here, right?
Facts. But that's the thing, though, JT. I think you should get more well-versed, because you said that we don't take it serious. And
I don't have to be well versed to understand and to have in my observation that we don't. Man, I can sit back and talk. First and foremost, I'm right there where all these niggas be talking goddamn politics and all shit. They talk at the same. They talk either at the level I'm at or lower than the level I'm at. These motherfuckers don't take politics seriously.
So do you take politics serious?
Yes. If I didn't take politics seriously, homie, that I wouldn't say that I don't believe that voting, not voting, is a good thing. So I take it seriously, but that doesn't mean that I have to be 100% well versed. I'm a late bloomer. How about that? Right? But I take it seriously because guess what? When I did vote, when we had that, I knew everybody that I was voting for. I did research on them. I did, and this was before I even looked at the ballot. I had to find out in my state. My whole thing was, who in my region am I voting for? In my region. Then I went to Congress, Senate, and all these other things. I'm not well versed in it, but damn, I still can take it seriously. I still can learn.
Kamal, to JT's point, and I'm gonna give you like concrete examples, Kamal.
Yeah, give me.
JT is absolutely right, because the reality is, Kamal, I really don't know who the Chicago mayor and what his policies are, because I live in Lake County, Northeast Ohio. I know who my mayor is. I know who my congressman here in Northeast Ohio's district is. I don't know who's representative for Beans in his district. I can't vote on that. You get what I mean? So like, and on top of that, here in like a very local election, not a flex, I hope all of you guys do it. You know, I own my house. One of the things you see, Kamal, on the local elections is the tax levies, right? Voting whether the schools are your property taxes are gonna go up to pay for the schools. You're gonna vote for whether the tax levy goes up for a new police department or a new fire department, or if that bridge finally gets repaired or not, right? You're gonna have all these different local policies. And if I don't go and vote in my little township of 20,000, you better believe now I took away my own voice. Because right now, whether you like it or not, Kamal, your taxpayer money is going to be used for something.
I get what you're saying, bro. I'm not talking about props or nothing. I'm talking specifically politicians. So who is the mayor, right? Is it a black person? Taurus, I'm asking you, who's the mayor?
Right, so for me...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so with townships, Kamal, that's really interesting. In townships, you don't have a mayor, you have a 3-person council.
Yes, that's where I stay at. We have a 3-person council. Yeah. We don't have a mayor in my township. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Are they black?
So
yes.
Are they black?
We have one I think we have one that's black. But he might have just got voted out. But he went and won an election in our school district. So he's still in like the local politics kind of shit.
Okay. Let me ask y'all this. You and JT. Are y'all more for just voting a black person in, or somebody just like-minded? It don't matter if they black.
I need like-minded and qualified.
I need somebody like-minded.
Come on. Respectfully, I don't give a shit. I need the most qualified and the most like-minded.
Okay.
And I'm more like-minded. I have PTSD from having the fucking mayors we had in Detroit. When I grew up in Detroit, I hated how Detroit was being ran.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, in the late 90s, it showed all the shit that was being fucked up. And it took a motherfucking white mayor in the 2000s to come here and undo all that bullshit that all those fucking, we had 3 mayors from that time, right? Mayor Coleman Young, Mayor Archer, and then we had Mayor Kilpatrick, right? And if you guys know about that shit made world news, right?
Patrick, yep.
And when that shit happened with him, it was all kind of people was going to jail. He wasn't the only motherfucker that was going to jail. It was motherfuckers that was in the school systems that was going to jail. They out here paying motherfuckers that ain't never set a foot in a fucking school, and they had them on a fucking payroll. We had a lot of things that was going on that was so fucked up in Detroit where I could not. I'm like, man, I'm never gonna stay and live in this fucking city again. And then on top of that, the fucking people in the city of Detroit, when it comes down to taxes, these niggas getting their ass handed to them. They getting their ass handed. If you live in the city of Detroit and you work in another motherfucking city, they still charge you city taxes. That's some fuck shit right there. Yeah. They ain't another motherfucking city in Michigan that does that shit. Detroit does that bullshit, man. I mean, it just goes to a point that I learned to love. This is my whole thing. And I'm saying this to Beans. I understand exactly what you're talking about, Beans, when it comes down to it. But what I'm saying is that I have a problem when we just sit back and say we're just not going to do it. And you don't have to. But my whole thing is that you can't tell your kids not to do it. You got to at least give them the fortitude where they can sit back and say, well, maybe I can change it. We don't know if it's going to be changed, man. Just give yourself 50 years or something. Give us 50 years.
Beans, I know you're going to get it. Beans, I know you're going to get into it with JT. I just wanted to finish Kamal's question real quick. Kamal, I'm a super lefty, bro. I'm a veteran, so I always just view voting purely as I vote side by side with my neighbor as a collective. And so I just need the best person available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reason why I just asked the question, because I didn't know y'all just focusing on getting black politicians or council members.
No.
Qualified. So yeah, I just tried to get some clarification on that shit. You know?
Before Beans goes, Kamal, what about you? How do you feel about best qualified or specific?
I would love the best qualified and be specific of Black American.
Best of both worlds.
That's how I would feel about everything. And
I feel you on that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, I have this weird thing about the voting shit because I feel our ancestors also fought for us to be abstain our vote if we feel that there's no policies or politicians that are helping out with us specifically. So I feel it that way too sometimes where I'm like, damn, even locally, I'm out here in San Diego, y'all. From Oakland, California, but I'm out here in San Diego, and the politicians out here, I'm telling you right now, they probably don't give a fuck about any group of people except the Hispanics and the homeless.
Now, come on. You just said some real shit right there. Sustaining your vote is a whole different ball game than not voting at all.
No, he said abstain.
Abstain, yeah. Abstain.
Abstain. But still, it's still because the thing is that when you're doing that, you still are involved, right? But we have to all do that at the same time, correct?
No.
No. And now I got JT, I'm about to give you a perfect example of what Kamal is talking about, and holy shit, now I actually have to give ground to Beans verbally. One of the most powerful times in the last 2 decades of abstaining your vote was when white Americans stayed home in 2012 and didn't vote for Mitt Romney. That was one of the biggest reasons Obama won re-election.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
right? For them, at least with their mentality, abstaining, aka not showing up to the polls, is voting. Right, so Kamal, there's a perspective, I guess you can look at.
So that's my sentiments exactly. Also, Tyrus, but guess what? It was they actually had one mind in doing that shit, right? Fuck this motherfucker. We hold our vote with it. However they did it with each other, they did it, and it was damn. It was it was more of how they moved. They wasn't just saying
it was an indictment on their leadership. You're absolutely right.
Fuck him, right?
Yeah,
it was like that.
But
to say fuck politics all at once and we ain't ever voting, that shit, that part don't sit right with me. So abstaining your vote, that's a whole different thing, and just saying fuck it, I'm checking out of politics. That shit don't sit right with me.
And I know Beans wanted to respond to JT, and just one more thing, Kamal. With the voting pattern, again, that's a perspective you can look at. But then again, you can also look at the perspective of, well, they take these voter suppression seriously for a reason. right? There's a reason why they try to erase voter ballots and stuff like that, or like the voter rolls. And there's a reason why in certain spots they specifically close DMVs down, because that's where you got to go register to vote. And they know it's hard for those people because now, guess what? The next DMV is 2 hours away. Right? Those are like little strategies that they use to suppress the vote. And so that's one of the things where it's like JT and I, we've seen the tricks where it's like, okay, if our vote really didn't count, you wouldn't be doing all this nonsense. Go ahead, Beans.
Yeah. So my man JT was talking about infiltration, right? First blacks officially gained the right to vote in 1870. That's over 150 years. First black politician, Hiram Rose Revels, according to the research, 1870 as well. First black member of Congress, over 150 years. First black police officer, Samuel J. Battle, joined the New York City Police Department in 1911. That's also over 100 years, around 115 years. The longest military infiltration campaign on record, classic Cold War spy penetrations, lasted 10 to 30 years. We are 4 times that length. And we still sitting on the internet talking about infiltration. Infiltration in a system where we're outnumbered by like 5. It's just no logic, bro. Everything that people say, it's feelings, right? Even again, when people talk about local stuff, here's where I will make a concession. If there are policies on a ballot that you can go cast your vote on, by all means, if you feel like you want to go cast your vote, cast your vote. I guess, well, for future references, I'll try to remember this. I'm not voting for a person. I'm not casting my vote for a person just because they were the ones called the nominee. If it ain't Fred Hampton, if it ain't Michelle Alexander, I'm not voting for you. Period. But if it's stuff, policies, marijuana laws, like Tarus was talking about, school funding and taxes and stuff like that, by all means, if that's some stuff that you can go vote on, hey man, go ahead and participate. But when it don't go your way, I don't want to hear no whining.
Facts. That's facts.
I don't want to hear.
And that's fair.
Hear zero whining from you because you got to participate in the voting thing, which is more important than you actually getting what you want, apparently. So people like to say, if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. No, motherfucker, I get to critique you. What do you mean? Y'all will sit up and watch Sports Center all day with niggas who ain't never played basketball in their life critique basketball players. Who niggas ain't never put nan person on a team and they get to critique them, right? So just because I don't vote don't mean I don't get to critique or criticize. Things that affect me, I get to have an opinion about them and speak on it. But the truth of the matter is, for people who say voting is this most important thing than actually getting your way, y'all should never complain, no matter what happened, especially if it's the motherfucker that you voted for. So, like I told my aunties now, y'all voted for this Mayor Johnson. I don't want to hear you talking shit about him now, because before y'all voted, I told you not to. They couldn't hear my logic. Vote for the white dude. So when the white dude get in and do the fuck shit, now you ain't got to look at a motherfucker that look like you and feel this internal ass hatred towards your own kind because you know this nigga's a fucking sellout. The last motherfucker before that was a gay woman. Y'all didn't like her because she was gay and y'all Christians.
So Beans, I think I'm starting to understand what you're saying. One of the things that keeps crossing my mind, and I just hope you could clarify it for me. Well, is the answer in your, let's say, matrix, your simulation, then to never have black leadership or black people in powers of position, so we can always blame the white people?
So, because I'm the one who worded that way, I'm going to say yes. But I wouldn't if you didn't ask me that way. What I would say is I always say I don't think black people should participate.
because black people's excuse is always infiltration. And that hasn't led to anything. That's that they haven't changed a single fucking thing.
Yeah, but
so that's why it's like, nah, I just don't think we should I don't think we should be police officers.
So we
should be politicians. I think there's one more I said too.
Wait, you don't think we should be police?
Nope.
So what is the alternative then if you're going to still live in America?
Bro, why do y'all, I don't understand this. Why do you think we have to? Why do we have to?
Because we are a part of society,
free will
bro.
says you don't have to do anything technically.
No, but
you want to be literal.
Yeah, but when you're talking about it, this is not just about yourself, right? This is about the future. And at the end of the day, we already understand that we, as black folks, we've been behind the power curve. But come on, man. Nothing stays the same. And if we don't try, then you would never succeed at all. For us not to be able to police the world and we just be sitting back and the only thing we gonna do is complain about the police is fucking us up and we ain't, nah. Infiltration is absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Black police officers since 1911. When did motherfucking Trayvon Martin get killed? When did goddammit what's the kid name out there in Ohio?
You talking
Tamir Rice.
Tamir Rice get killed. When was Sandra Bland killed? When was Philando Castro killed? All of that shit was 100 years after the infiltration.
So that means that we need to stop doing what we need to be doing as being a citizen?
What I'm saying is this, JT. This is what people do respectfully because you my homie. Y'all ask questions that you can't answer. You not, instead of asking me a question, tell me the thing that has happened since what has it changed? What has it changed? Because I can guarantee you this. I've never looked this up. I don't think I did. I've done so much research, I'm starting to get this shit mixed up. I guarantee you there's more killing of black people in this country today than it was in 1966. I'll bet $50 on that right now.
What do you mean by that? You saying by other folks?
By other folks. I guarantee it. I bet money. And I'm including the police in that. I guarantee it. Give me the last, 2026?
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon Martin and shit, that shit was like 2013, 2014. Give me
Kamal, are you looking that up or y'all want me to look that up?
No, I'll look it up because I was gonna look it up, but then
all right, I'll look that up. You guys keep going.
But and here's my thing. I don't think it's gonna even be close, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's my point. We infiltrated, we did every fucking thing that everybody always be saying we did, and yet we still have the exact same complaints. My thing is people won't accept the fact that this is just emotional for them. It's either cognitive dissonance or it's emotional, right? They emotionally feel this thing like they trapped into voting no matter what because my ancestors, and I said it earlier, JT, I don't think you was here. Tarus made that same claim that our ancestors fought and bled and died for it, right? We also had ancestors who fought and bled and died for the Confederacy and to keep slavery around. So should we honor them by now fighting for Confederacy and trying to bring slavery back? Nobody's gonna say yes to that. So you can't use our ancestors died for shit.
Beans, I'll let you know one person that say yes, Jason Lee Peterson. That nigga most definitely say yes.
No, I understand exactly, but this is where it gets to a point that we have to still move strategically. I'm not just saying that, I'm not looking at this as just it's tied to my emotions. Now, I'll be a fucking lie if I sit back and say that this shit does not bring some type of feelings to me. It does, man. I hate the fact that we have so many people in my observation that just, they give up. This shit is bullshit to me, man. That shit don't jive with me.
What's sad is that you think not voting is giving up.
Not voting is giving up. What do you mean I think?
A motherfucker could be out here working for the railroad, making $175,000 a year, got a wife, a kids, a house, 2 cars, a little motorcycle that he work on with his kids, his son playing basketball, his daughter in the goddamn in the choir, his other son goddamn it playing the flute and shit. He got goddamn it $80,000 in his savings. He got $367,000 in his 401k that he building up on. He's been married for 11 years. He don't never vote, so he gave up on life. Come on,
all
man.
right, guys. Real quick. I'm gonna give y'all the black homicide total numbers. Okay.
All right.
I just picked a year back in the day and then a year now, and boy, Beans is going to be. Unfortunately, he's not going to be happy he was right, but he's going to be right.
He did the research on that. I know when he this nigga be
historical
saying shit.
data, the black homicide victims numbered either 28 to 3,500 in 1960. In 2024, 8,158.
Hey, so Tyrus,
damn.
No, but Tyrus, you know what I could say some shit that'll set Beans off right now. He either gonna laugh or he gonna start hollering at me. But per capita,
per capita, 1960.
See, look at him, he's shaking his head already. If I start coming with the per capita,
per capita in 1960, the rate was 42%. And now today it's actually down to 21%. So technically this is the lowest amount of violence, right? It's like it's
Fucking
no, man.
Yeah.
Around.
That shit's wild, man. That shit's wild. But it still goes to the point, Beans, and I'm gonna stand on my square, bro. And they only me and you both. We got grown fucking kids, and I don't know about you, but it's very difficult for me. And I got college graduates, masters, bachelors, and they're not anywhere near like where I'm at when it comes down to. And like I said, self-proclaimed. I'm not even a novice at this shit, but I'm learning as I go, right? I'm a late bloomer when it comes down to this shit. Mm-hmm. They don't even have the knowledge that I have because they don't care anything about politics. But what happens is because I got college students, they will sit back and they would complain, right? They would sit back and complain, but their complaints is something they borrowed from other people's. You know how you can borrow somebody else's plight and then you would just start saying shit? That's what they end up doing. And I try to edify my children and their friends on the bullshit that I hear them saying and that they never experience. You know what I'm saying? The shit sounds weird to me. That's one of the things where I'm like, damn, if we just us, right? And we just give up on not being a part of the things that goes on and specifically politics and voting and the nominating and talking to Congress, finding out who your mayor is, your judges, and all these different things. If we just sit back and say we're not going to, deal with it, it's going to get even worse with them because they are not aware. They're just not. They're more aware about some other bullshit. And it's understandable. But no, I that shit don't jive with me, bro. I understand it. I understand the whole thing. Now, like Kamal, like you said, abstaining your vote is one thing, but we have to be able to do that, and we have to be on the same accord. You dig what I'm saying? Because the things that you guys have used and illustrated, it was people that actually used that as, you know what I'm saying? That shit was like, okay, this person, we're not going to even vote. They had to be talking to each other and shit like that, didn't they? They had to come to some type of consensus with each other. We don't have a consensus. When you talk to black folks about voting, we are so on two different. We got black folks that say, fuck that voting, I ain't fucking with it. And then we got other ones that saying, no, why would you not do it? And we'll sit back. You got mother. It gets to a point where we start calling each other out our names. You a coon ass nigga because you think this. You a coon ass nigga because you go with that. Because we're not on the same consensus with each other. So even abstaining our votes and shit like that, because I heard people saying that shit for a very long time too. And I'm just like, yeah, it'll work if we was on the same consensus. But in order for that to happen, we got to know a little bit about at least enough, you know, in the judicial and you know what I'm saying, legislation level to say, okay, but I just don't see enough black folks knowing that shit. Now the motherfuckers here on these panels, when I be going on here, yeah, they do. But when I'm out here on the soil, these niggas don't know nothing about fucking politics, bro.
JT, I need you to stop. Come on, man. Think about what you just said. I was over there trying to get my juice. You just said, oh, they had a consensus. Bro, Taru said white people abstain from their vote for this dude. He didn't say white people in Texas. He didn't say white people in Prince George County. He said white people. That's across the country. You think the motherfuckers in South Carolina who chose not to vote was talking to the motherfuckers in California? Of course.
Yes.
No, they wasn't talking at all.
Shit.
A lot of people just decided they didn't want that dude and they wasn't going to vote for Obama. So they abstained. What I'm saying is it's the same logic across the board. If I don't put this motherfucker up there that I want, I'm not going to vote for him. If it's not a motherfucker up there who I believe in, I'm not going to cast my vote for him. Period, point, fucking blank. It's that simple. Again, I didn't, like I said, I heard about the policy a few years ago. Kamal, I'm going to put you like this. I don't want to go to jail and I don't want to die. Mm-hmm. But for the right amount of money, I would have shot the shit out of that motherfucking man in Chicago. Motherfucker would have offered me the right amount of money. I would have just said, fuck it, man. As long as my family get taken care of, let me get this bitch ass nigga the fuck up out of here.
The hypothetical mayor in Chicago. The
allegedly.
hypothetical mayor in Chicago.
Allegedly.
Bro, this he could have. They wanted him to pass this measure so that the people could vote on whether or not to get that fucking money to the immigrants. And that nigga said no. So to me, that's enough. I don't need nothing else. You don't got to show me 1,000 more things. That's enough for me to be like, yeah, fuck these black politicians. They ain't the one motherfucking politician who I probably would cast a vote for right now. That's an actual politician. It's probably Rod Blagojevich.
Who was that?
But he used to be the governor of Illinois.
Okay.
But the reason why is because he actually did some shit for black people. And watch this. What he did, it seemed like nothing. But watch this, Tarus. He set it up. He created this healthcare policy to where if you and your girl have a kid and y'all live together with the kid, free healthcare. Now I want you to name the other motherfucker that's done anything like that, remotely close. Anything that will help bring families back together like that, remotely close to that. We'll be here to next year around this same time. Shit ain't gonna happen. You can't. So that's why I'm saying I know. And guess what happened? They locked his ass the fuck up.
How about that?
They sent his ass to jail. Oh, you was trying to sell your seat. The same shit the rest of the motherfuckers do. But they locked him up for it because he was doing shit that went against the goddamn protocol of the establishment. So, and that's what happens to motherfuckers that really try to do shit for people.
You still don't give up though. Shit sound crazy as fuck.
All you gotta do is keep going to work. If you get them to go to work that day, you get a paycheck. That's not.
Yeah. I mean,
JT, we didn't, and we as Black Americans didn't give up. And I'm not changing the topic, but damn, we are resilient. Yo, this. I'm glad y'all asked me to look this up. Bro, because I swear, like our people have been saying we've been like 13% for decades.
We like 14.27, ain't we? Like
we have,
like that.
And in 1960 we was only 10%. So even with all the abortion fear mongering, even with all the homicide fear mongering, we still grew as a demographic.
Yeah.
Substantially. And the violence rate still dropped substantially.
Tyrus, I was just talking to my mama about that. Now, this is the thing for all you brothers on the panel. My whole thing is that, of course, I have my own thoughts, right? But dog, it's so much shit where I'm like, the narrative, especially of us as black folks, has been really skewed and fucked up when it comes down to us. So I'm kind of, the thing is this. That's why I have to listen to y'all, right? When we talking, we can troll each other or whatever, but I try to get to a point where when you guys are talking, I do look it up, just like you will look it up, just like, Kamal will look it up, Beans will look it up. We have to have it, but we got to have these conversations 100, right? Although I'm on a different standpoint as far as like the voting and all that stuff, bro, I wasn't like that 10 years ago. I was on that same standpoint where it came down to the point where, man, what the fuck is your vote don't count? Your vote cost and all these different things, but reading books, doing research, looking at documentaries, talking to my brothers that's out here that's actually edifying one another and shit like that, it changes my thought. But that goes to the same point that I'm just saying, that the world does not stay the same. And we can't just give up on shit and thinking because it's not working for us right now that it won't work for, the world. We may never ever see it. But I'd be goddamn if I'm still be having my ass in America and I'm not participating as a motherfucking American. I refuse to do that type of shit right there.
JT,
I take my ass over to Germany.
JT, as you know, again, just staying with the numbers here, we are far more dispersed across America now than we were in 1960.
Hell
so
yeah.
It's even harder to build any sort of sort of grassroots movements and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is. It's very, and it's going to get like that's. But there goes where the change, right? The change in the world, the way we just got to, again, if we resilient, then that's what it's about. My whole thing is just not giving up. That's just my only argument. However we do it, we just got to do it. But one of the things that we got to do is stay, close together. So when we talking about, I just be hearing certain people talking about separating from one another and shit like that. And some days I do feel like that, man. But when I'm really, my whole consensus, no, it's so much better when we are black folks. And I think we've came a long way from before we was even born as far as black folks, because we're way more intelligent. First and foremost, we black people have always been intelligent, but I think that it's more on display now than it's ever been ever, especially when we argue with one another. And I'm talking about when we are challenging each other's intellect, right? Because at one point we wasn't even at that point, Tyrus. What were we doing? Bitch ass nigga, this and that. At least we can mix it up, right? Yeah. We'll call each other names, but we can come with some shit that's tangible now. And it's going to get better and better and better as long as we keep trying to do it the way that we doing it. Conversation is way better than what people even think. Beings, you remember when motherfuckers was saying that shit, man, why were you sitting here doing all this motherfucking talking? All we doing is talking. That was only 5 years ago, because it matters. The way that we talk to each other, the way that we think when we are starting to converse with each other, all these things, it does matter. It does. It's very tedious, and the shit can get so fucking, it gets to a point, man, where motherfuckers be like, man, I need to just break away from this shit. But you always come back to it. Why? Because it matters to you. All them motherfuckers talking that bullshit. It was like, no, nigga, we doing it for a reason. And sometimes you just do it.
So peep this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I need one more thing. What is the total Asian population in America?
In America?
Okay, cool.
I got it. Go.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, 25 million. So, what I wanted to look at, right, was their participation in this. Now, we already know that when you look at the statistics, when it comes to income, they usually at the top, right? Even though it's way more white millionaires, you know what I'm saying, and billionaires and stuff. But when it comes to like the average earnings and the median earnings, it's usually them and then whites and then us and then Hispanics. So in the US, there's about 4,000 Asian American elected and appointed officials out of their 25 million. So 10% of 25 million would be 2.5, which means 1% would be 250,000. Right? Okay. So not even 1% of them participate as elected officials. Then you got 45% of eligible Asian Americans cast votes nationally. That number drops during midterm elections to about 40%. And then here's the key one. In local elections, 30% of eligible Asian American voters participate in local elections. And this
that's 30% of Asians, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
30% of eligible Asian Americans. So this right here, 25 million. It's 20 million black men. It's 22 million black women. Right? So again, my point is this. We see how well they're doing. Nobody thinks they gave up on life. Nobody thinks they don't give a fuck about none and all that. And they have the lowest participation rates among the 4 primary groups in America, which is black, white, Hispanic, and Asian. And that's my point, is you can get together collectively and get things done. And you might, you can sprinkle a few people in there to go play politics, lobbyists and all that kind of shit. You can have a few motherfuckers in there. You know, it is what it is. But that's not the game. The game in politics in America is theatrical. It's for show. It's a theater, bro. It's a play. The real game is economics. That's the real building, right? So that's why I'm saying, when I see the motherfucking police behind me, if I see flashing lights behind me, nope, I don't want the motherfucker in the driver's seat to look like me. Sure don't. Motherfucker putting handcuffs on me, putting me in the back seat. Motherfucker come to my house because my bitch acting funny and I smacked her ass. Or she smacked me, I call y'all, but y'all still taking me because I'm the man. No, I don't want that motherfucker to look like me. Politician in my city who don't want to allow me to put this shit on the ballot that I actually care about. No, I don't want that motherfucker to look like me. Motherfucker sending my cousins, my little nephews and shit off the war, some fake ass war that he started to protect some other motherfuckers on the other side of the world to make sure him and his cronies can make billions of fucking dollars. No, I don't want that motherfucker to look like me. Because you can't tell me to accept them niggas and still have black love and pride. Fuck that. See, I'm not trying to brag, but I actually make great arguments. None of this shit ain't about my feelings. It ain't. Because if I went with my feelings, I would have voted for Obama. My feeling was, oh shit, it's a black dude, he got a chance. But my thoughts was, this nigga not gonna do a motherfucking thing for me. And sure enough, he didn't do a motherfucking thing for me. Damn. Fucked up. But we saw y'all seen what's the name of that movie? Zack Snyder's
that Batman shit?
Yeah, what was the name of that movie?
With the Dark Knight?
The one with all of them.
Oh, Avengers?
Oh, Justice League?
Justice League. I'm sorry, I said Avengers. That's Marvel.
They found a way to bring Superman back to life. So if we could use that shit.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, guys, B just says we just need to find an alien real quick. We got
we'll need the alien. We need their technology. They swear they've been to the moon. We should have had it by now, but we need to bring Fred Hampton back. Listen, the motherfuckers be saying they won't vote for a woman. I will vote for Michelle Alexander, though. Man, put Michelle Alexander and Fred Hampton together. Make Michelle, I would even accept it if Michelle was the president and he was the the vice president.
Hey, I ain't even gonna act like I'm smart. Who the hell is Michelle Alexander? You said her like 4 times already.
Michelle Alexander wrote the book, The New Jim Crow.
Okay.
Right? It's a book about how they use the prison industrial complex to turn black men into an underclass caste system in America. Mm-hmm. But what she showed me through that was this woman went through the same collegiate process as everybody else, but she didn't come out on the other side as a feminist. You see what I'm saying? She came out like, hold the fuck up. Y'all been doing what to black men? Why the hell ain't nobody talking about this? Why ain't nobody saying this? Right? But you see, she came out, she got some notoriety with her book, and then she kind of like just faded into obscurity.
It's pretty feminist to stand up for marginalized demographics, ain't it?
What?
I mean, yeah, that's part of feminism. Isn't just about the women, but women in other marginalized communities and other people in marginalized communities too.
Except you know what I mean? Black men.
But you just said she was uplifting the black men.
Right, but she's not a feminist.
Yeah, but that's like a pretty liberal thing to do. You get
liberal
what I mean?
Feminist, not necessarily the same thing, right? Don't change your words now. You said feminist.
I honestly, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a pretty feminist thing to do because you hear feminists all the time talking about black men. So it doesn't really seem like there's a contradiction there. You know what I mean?
You hear them talking about what?
You hear them talking about the difficulties of black men in this country all the time. The feminists.
Yeah, I don't hear that.
Yeah, you gotta send me that, Toro. You gotta send me a clip or something.
Yeah,
I never hear
that shit at all.
They be talking about they be talking about every. Obviously, they go hard in the paint for women's. You know what I mean? But they be talking about everyone else. Like, for example, you know that the meme of like the feminist redhead woman. If you actually watch the video, they're going at it, right? But she's also saying in the video, yes, I agree that women, because we're equal, we should be we should have to sign up for selective service, right? Because it's unfair for men to have to carry all the burden in society. They didn't clip that part. You see what I mean?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Now, this is me talking through my feelings. I'm able to do that, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe her. Right? I've seen a few women say that. I don't believe them. Right? And I think they just say that because they don't want to come off as hypocrites. Right? Yeah. And I think that's the real reason. I've seen people do it too much too. I've been doing this too long. People will say anything in a moment in order to not back off of whatever it is that they're championing, right? So of course, I'm not going to argue neither one of them believes it. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I don't do not all arguments. But I just don't believe in them, bro. I really don't. I know if they had a chance to vote today, I guarantee you them same women that be saying that shit would cast no, because they don't want to fucking go themselves. Hell, I'd cast a no vote. I don't want to go. Right? I don't want my son to go.
I'll just say that.
We ain't going.
It'll be
Me and Tyrus ain't going. We went.
Not again, anyway. That'll be my.
Fuck that, nigga. I'm too old anyway. Fuck them.
Y'all should be the first ones to go. Y'all trained already.
I already went. I went 3 times.
Well, 4 then, nigga.
No. Hey, look, that's what got me to get the fuck up out of there. It was about to be a 4th time. That nigga just say LeBron.
Yeah, 4 tours and shit.
Fuck that shit, man.
But hey guys, BMU had technical difficulties. He had to head out and figure that stuff out. So we're gonna go ahead and with our final thoughts. Kamal, just give us your final thoughts on everything you heard tonight and what you want to leave us with.
You write the words. What if you?
Man, who was that nigga? Anyway, I appreciate y'all for real, man. A great perspective. You feel me? JT, appreciate you, bro. Beans, bro, was good, bro. You feel me? You know, appreciate you. Taurus, I appreciate you too. The main topic at hand for y'all that came in late, or some of y'all that slow as hell in the chat, probably was talk about MLK, and you know, was MLK a puppet and all this other type of shit, right? Personally, I don't think MLK was a puppet. Some of the things that's been coming out about MLK, that shit surprising. Like about him fucking with white women. God damn. I'm surprised as hell about that. But hey, Shit, and white cheeks sometimes be calling, I guess. The other stuff we talked about too, like the voters right act and all the voting stuff and stuff like that. Great convo. I do feel that basically our ancestors fought for us to either vote Republican, Democrat, or abstain or vote. They fought for that shit too. So I do feel kind of like weird when motherfuckers be trying to chastise us black folks if we don't want to cast a vote for two evils. You feel me? Also, I wanted to shed light that we might need to do the Asian model. You feel me? Because Beans was bringing up the Asian folks, and real talk, they politicians shitty too. I'll tell you right now, they be scamming and all types of shit. I'm in Cali right now. We talked about one Asian chick. She was a mayor in Arcadia in LA. She turned out to might be a Chinese spy and doing some scam shit. And then
here in Michigan.
In the town, you feel me, from my hometown, aka Oakland. Her name Tong Shu or whatever. She was scamming too. Both Asian. So it's like they be on the bullshit too. But it seems like, they don't really have to vote in the political process, and they kind of doing well for themselves. You feel me? And one more thing I wanted to say is that the infiltration thing, JT, I feel you. I agree with you 1,000% with the infiltration thing, but I do gotta agree with Beans. That shit is not working, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So many black politicians out here, bro. And like I just gave you two. I can name a plethora of these black politicians that are doing not a damn thing for us as black Americans out here. So the infiltration shit, I feel it. But damn, man, the shit just it's like I feel you because we can't stop fighting, man. If we would stop fighting, you feel me? We still be in slavery at this point, you feel me? So I feel you, JT, with the fighting spirit, you feel me? But we might need to reorganize some strategy when it comes to this infiltration shit. But other than that, I appreciate y'all for having me up here. I'm gonna come up here more often. You feel me? I usually try to stay in the background and listen, but I had to come up because the MLK topic. You feel me? And BMU, you still gotta tell us how Burr puppet. You feel me? I still want to hear that info. You feel me? Appreciate y'all.
All right, man.
Yeah, just watch the earlier part of the show. He broke it down.
Hell yeah, man.
Go next.
Beans. Oh, Beans, are you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody didn't know, when Kamal was saying MLK, that stands for Malcolm Little's killer. I thought I was gonna be able to hold it in. Malcolm Little is Malcolm X, by the way, just in case anybody didn't know. That is me saying that Martin Luther King had Malcolm X killed, but it was just a joke. Anyway, fuck y'all for not laughing.
Yeah, you ain't shit, dog. You ain't shit. I'm trying to hold it in, dog. All
right, here we go. No, super dope show. Shout out to my boy Kamar, my cousin from another mother. My main man JT up here stressing me up. I just lost 2 more hair follicles fucking with this thing. My main man Tarus has been up in this piece. BMU on the consistency side of the game. And I just woke up not too long ago, so I got to find another panel to go harass. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody, except for Sharon. I saw Sharon was in the chat, but not shout out to him.
Fuck him.
But other than that, I appreciate it, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Salute.
My man.
Have a good night, bro.
Yes, sir. Bro. All right, now.
JT, man. What you got for us, big dog?
Lately, man, in the 2020s, dog, I don't really like having a Martin Luther King conversation because we don't have an in-depth conversation about that brother ever. I was born in 1972, and 4 years from his assassination, and it felt like when I was probably 6 years old, Tarus, that this shit just happened a year ago. That's how much people were, devastated. But this is the thing I wanted to say about that. This man has had 2 siblings, A.D. King and what's the other, Angel Christine Ferris, right? That was his sister. They all did something in America. She was a teacher. A.D. was working with him. A.D. was worse than motherfucking Martin Luther King, right? But then you also had Alberta King, and you also had Martin Luther King Sr., and then you got a host of nephews and nieces that's out here in this world right now that's actually making shit happen, right? You also have this man that had 5 books. I've yet to hear anybody talk about those. One is a damn economic book. Nobody talk about that shit. Right. And it's just Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, the third, right? You also had all of these. They were, guess what they were? A lot of them were politicians. And then you got great grandkids and great nephews, great grand nephews and nieces and all these people. Man, the King family is a powerful family and they're large. But we don't sit there. That man did something and he sacrificed something for us as black folks, for us to sit back and take his legacy and start shitting on it. That don't sit right with me. If we're going to say something, if you're going to go out here and start shitting on this man's name, you better start putting the shit that he really put out there. I have yet to hear anybody talk about any one of his 5 books. And I think it was more than that. Not sure. But let me just say this. The conversations are going to be hard for us because of the integration that we had in America. And I'll be goddamn if somebody tell me that I'm just not a fucking American. The conversations I have with you, Tyrell, we go back and forth just like with Beans and everybody else. We supposed to do this shit, man. At the end of the day, it can get to a point where we can get invested in emotionally and shit like that. But come on, man. We some intelligent brothers. And we got some intelligent sisters too. We have to change the trajectory so we can move forward because we're not going to be on this earth all this time. We got to do this shit for our kids, right? So they can do it for their kids and on and on and on and on and on. We don't know what this world going to be, you know what I'm saying, 80, 100 years after us. So this is my thing. Contribute. Do the best thing that you can. Get all the knowledge that you possibly can. Take that knowledge and give it to the other people. Don't hold that shit in for your fucking self. When we out here having this is a culture that we have right now when it comes down to social media. This is just what it is. When we have conversation with each other, the last thing that we need to be is enemies with each other, right? Agreed. We can be, you know, at a point where we don't have the same standpoint, but bro, you my brother. I just wanted to just let you know that. You my homie.
And you're my brother too, bro.
Most definitely. And I'm gonna end it with that. This is a culture. We've been doing this shit for a little while, man. And I hope we can further this. I learn a lot from you. I learn a lot from Beans. I learn a lot from everybody that I have a conversation with. It's just certain motherfuckers. Y'all know exactly who they are. When they don't contribute nothing, all they want to do is stir up shit. I don't like them. And I don't care anything about having them in the same space that I'm in unless they get their mind right. Other than that, man, it's all love. No doubt about it, bro.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for rocking with us tonight, man. Really appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
well,
sir.
guys, my before we get up out of here, my final thoughts is this. These guys got legacies, okay? At the end of the day, I really agree with JT. MLK and Malcolm did what they had to do for the time and the era they existed in. Right? Trying to diminish what they do, and then especially trying to compare them to really Donald Trump. Right? Y'all remember he got sued by the government in the 70s for racial discrimination with his rental policies in his apartments. That's a fact. You get what I mean? Like, again, here's another fact, guys. Why are we comparing two literally goated people in our community to a guy who's currently covering up sex trafficking of minors? Shouldn't be doing that. I also want to say I'm really glad I let everybody speak, and I was doing more of the stats because boy, black men, the standards just got raised higher. Now that I've seen the population growth, thanks to JT asking me questions and Beans asking me questions, now that I've seen our population demographic from 1960 to now, and the homicide per capita rate from 1960 to now, and the voting patterns and all of this, and our population growth from 1960 to now. But there's a lot of narratives, y'all got to stop. We cannot keep going with the same narratives, guys. It's done. It's over. It's obsolete. We're 14%, 14.5% of the population. In 1960, we were 10. Okay, so even if you're pro-life, and I get you don't want to, if you're pro-life, abortion is bad. But accounting for abortion, accounting for the peak in violence between 1960 and 2024, right? Like in the 1990s, even accounting for all of those different things, we still grew 4.5%. Our violence rate still dropped 20%. Yes, there's a lot more growth and a lot more things we got to do, a lot more shit that we got to get our government to do for us, but stop acting like this shit is doom and gloom for our demographic specifically, because it's not. And it's whatever the progress is, it's growing. Because guess what? The majority of Black Americans, the majority of my fellow Black men have been doing the right thing. The majority of our Black women have been doing the right thing, almost as if the majority of any demographic typically does the right thing. You know what I mean? But stop speaking down on us. Like as a culture, embrace your heritage, embrace your lineage. You know what I mean? Make sure to like, share, subscribe. I'm going to be hosting my show, Battle Tested Truth, tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Probably just going to be going over some more updates and everything like that. But again, BMU has some technical difficulties. And so he just had me co-host it for a little bit. But you all have a great night. Peace.